You know what alright, so my theory is, I feel like sometimes, like you might be with your girl, like nigga might be with his female, and they might be out somewhere, and he might see another female that he see her, he attracted to her. He might not know. I'm saying for the average dude, this one saying like the average dude may not know how to communicate how he want to fuck that girl to his girl. Because I guess what I'm trying to say is one thing I would tell my son is like, it's not cool to cheat. I tell him like, if you want to get with a female, bruh, what saucy is letting the other female know. That's the sauciest thing, bruh, because you're giving her the option. When you out and you doing your thing, bro, I'm like, nigga, the sauciest thing you can do is just be honest. And I don't even mean that to be corny or sound cheesy, no TV show type shit. But the honesty is just a respectable thing, and that's what the females is looking for in you anyway. So they gonna respect you more if you like, yeah, I do got this other chick across town I fuck with. If you come out straight up and say that from jump, nigga, she's still gonna fuck with you. That's what I tell my kid, like, nigga, you don't have a reason to lie, bro. You only lie when you scared. And nigga, you ain't got no reason to be scared of telling nobody what the fuck you doing, bro, when it comes to that shit.
Yep.
When it comes to that shit, bro. Everything. When I was single, I for sure be like, nigga, don't like me, cause I'm out here. I'll tell you straight up. I'm out here, man. Don't catch feelings for me, bro.
Yeah.
Do not do it. Do not do it. But bitches don't listen, they'll still catch feelings.
When I'm single, nobody's. I don't post nobody. Half the time I don't even save your number. But it's different when you in a relationship and you're trying to have boundaries, and in any arrangement, polygamous, monogamous, whatever, like it still should be boundaries and respect.
Do you think, I'm gonna ask you this, do you think it hurts a nigga, like say a nigga meet a female at the club, he take her home, he fuck, right? Does it hurt a nigga ego if a female just took the dick and never hit him back again?
Yeah, they'll call you hella times and be like, oh, you're not answering the phone.
Is this how toxic relationships are born? Because I'm thinking like, are dudes doing this with almost the expectation of being forced in a relationship? Like you already know, like some niggas will know in the back of their head, I'm about to fuck the shit out this bitch. This bitch, niggas know they know what they want to do. They know why they doing it too. They know why they doing it. So is it like you doing it knowing that you want this bitch to be on you? Doing it knowing that you want her to crave you and all that type of shit. So do niggas in the back of their head subconsciously expect to be forced into like these relationships?
I don't know, because every relationship I've been in has been the man saying it. And a lot of times they'll bring it up more than once. So that's what also bothers me, is if you're one of those kind of guys, it's like, you're going to be my girlfriend, I want you to be my girlfriend. And then you do some old left-handed bullshit. It's almost like you just did that so you can contain me while you see something else through. It's weird. I
ain't gonna lie. I'm not to my own horn. 9 times out of 10, I was for sure the nigga asked, like, so what are you? Shit, like, so what we doing? And I be, back then I didn't really know how to
I wouldn't say ask me that.
Like,
you niggas.
I'd be like, nigga, I don't know. Don't ask me that. I already told you in the beginning. Like, man, chill out with that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was good.
I never brought that shit up.
You never brought it exactly. Never even brought it up.
Why
and shit. But they'll drop little subtle little woo woo.
I'd be like, well, what do you want to be? I mean, shit.
I remember I met this one chick when I was single, and I was fucking around with her for a little bit, and then she invited me to this little birthday party, and she was like, before we go up in here, I just want to let you know, I told everybody you my boyfriend. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what you do that for? Right?
You belong.
Don't be mad, but I wish for us a baby in the wishing room. Bitch, what are you doing?
Oh, here we go. Here we go with this goddamn wishing room.
I'm a stay giving you the shit for that wishing room.
No,
crazy. That shit was
it wasn't even like that.
How the fuck? How much room do you think I have?
Look.
You know, you always.
How you feel? How you feel? What? You think they want a half an AP?
Why does screen look like that?
You think they want a half an AP?
Why does screen look like that though?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you.
As
of right, am my eyes fucked up? That's blurry.
AP is blurry. Why do I look so clear? I look clear. I mean, I'm not tripping off that.
Y'all is all tripping, period.
No, you look blurry.
This shit is blurry, but can you check the camera lens? It might have dust in it or something.
Go back to go.
You right here at the end. This nigga is a... Thank you, actually.
Y'all know we live, right?
We've been live this whole time?
Yes.
Wow. Wait, how should I do this?
Fam, I'm gonna scoot this camera back.
You're live on camera, so go ahead and wipe it off. How you gonna wipe it off?
Is it clear?
Watch it out.
The entire world can see us right now.
Wow.
Wait, we live on what? What are you talking about?
We live on YouTube.
No, we not.
Oh,
we are? Why are we live on YouTube?
We're live on YouTube.
You're getting live edits.
Whoa.
All right, continue talking real quick. I gotta do my last little thing. Just pick up where we left off, AP, please.
I don't know where y'all left off. Y'all was talking about...
Always talking about polygamy and monogamy. We do not always talk about polygamy.
Oh, y'all was... I said y'all was talking about what y'all was talking about. But y'all was definitely talking about some shit that...
We're talking about polygamy and monogamy. Like, is it hard? Which one's harder?
Monogamy is definitely more of a disciplined and mature type of setup. That's something I don't think that's something everybody can do.
Monogamy?
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like both can be hard. Depends on the person. Because it still requires commitment. So you have to realize, like, even though your girl is giving you the okay to find somebody for the relationship, you still shouldn't go behind her back. Or your guy is telling you can date somebody else, you still shouldn't go behind his back or do certain stuff. Or there's a lot of people in the poly community that do still cheat.
Yeah, I feel like in the poly community that still cheat. That's hella funny.
No, because it requires the same level of commitment in a monogamous relationship. Is the same thing.
Commitment is commitment. You know, it don't matter what type of relationship you're forming. You know, even if you're like, if you build a yacht, you know, you got to stay committed to building that yacht. You know, if you make a commitment, then that's that. You just fuck. You know, fuck and have fun. You know, just do that. Fuck all the labels and shit. Just fuck and have fun. Fuck. Have discipline, have fun, you know. Be responsible, you know. All that other shit, y'all ridiculous. Y'all can't even commit to yourselves, you know.
Hey, that's for real though. There's like people be having so many excuses to like enhance their life or to do something for the betterment of themselves. It takes them forever to put down a bottle of alcohol or to not smoke or, you know,
excuses
like, I'll do it tomorrow.
For days. Excuses. And it'd be like, bro, you know, why set yourself up at the end of the day? So, yeah, as far as that shit goes, you know, cheating everywhere. Fucking have fun. A fucking course? Sin gets a call.
Jeez.
So, what else was y'all talking about? That was it? Y'all talking about, you know?
No, it was a few different conversations because it was like, would a man be offended if a woman asks for solo poly? Because basically that's like a core relationship and then you all, you know, you do your own thing. You're able to, or it's a relationships without like a core relationship. Like y'all basically
just
can branch
fuck
out
and have fun. Royale.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see it. Just fucking have fun. Just fucking have fun. Get it?
Say it fast.
Just fucking have fun.
Just fucking have fun, man.
Just fucking have fun.
It's a fucking kettle of wine mixer, man.
Why you?
Oh Lord.
I think that's what's wrong with the world nowadays, and what's wrong with people nowadays. There's just so much going on. Nobody just want to fucking have fun, you know?
This is the Revamp Podcast, by the way, because we did the official intro. Mm-hmm. So, yes, this is the Revamp Podcast where we talk about ideas, concepts, standards, motherfucking conspiracy theories, politics, social issues, nigga, whatever the fuck have you, nigga. We talk about it right here. We do movie breakdowns. We need to get into music and book breakdowns. We're going to break down a lot of shit today. So, man, I'm your host, Uncle Lonnie, Serious, with my two co-hosts. I think C's running late, but don't worry. I think he's going to be in the building real quick. Who we got in the building right now?
AMNGEAP. All my niggas gon' eat. AMNGEAP. All my niggas gon' eat. AMNGEAP. All my niggas gon' eat. AMNGEAP. All my niggas gon' eat.
That's awesome.
Okay. Is the mic on?
No.
Yes.
The mic's never on.
What?
The
mic is never on.
It is for real?
No.
It's on.
Oh, because why it sounded like it was... Like you really projected. That's what's up.
Because the mic is on.
Can you sing?
Yes. I mean...
He's lying.
Oh, damn. So, I am the co-host, Action Royale, the Jan of the Revamp, the David Ruffin of the Revamp, in the best dress as usual.
Oh my God.
I've just been basically
I'm not showing no chest.
I mean, shit, me neither. I ain't got no titties. I got about as much as y'all do.
Hold on.
Time out. Wait a minute.
I have, and that was my reasoning for saying what I said. She don't. She don't.
Time out.
She don't.
Yeah, me like that. Alright.
I was feeling cute today, y'all.
But yes, this is the revamp. We don't have a movie breakdown today, which is all good because niggas be busy.
I did see that movie that Louis prescribed to us.
Me too.
Y'all seen it?
Did you like it?
You talking about which one? Seen it or
Tom Clancy? That Tom Clancy movie.
once. I halfway watched it. I didn't really watch it.
I watched that shit.
Should we wait till Louis get back? Or you want to talk about it right now?
He wanted us to talk about it, but I think we should wait until he gets back.
Yeah, I don't have
I mean, what Louis gonna say?
I would like to hear his perspective as to why he wanted us to watch it. Because he was like, without remorse, as soon as the show was over.
Because it was a great movie.
Right. So I want to know why he wanted.
That was my whole point. So that's what I'm going to explain to you. But
one thing I do want to say about the movie is that I had known some people who actually watched the movie, and they took something completely different from the movie that I didn't expect them to take from the movie, which was interesting.
When I talked to Louis about it briefly, I think we had a pretty different take. I don't know if that's what they wanted us to get out of the movie, but that's the reason why I do want to wait until he...
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Next week, we're talking about that Tom Clancy movie.
Ain't he the one to do the video games?
Yes.
Yes.
Back
when I used to play video games.
I played Spencer. I was mad.
As a matter of fact, they're coming out with a second movie based off the video game. Ghost Recon.
Damn.
I mean, they hinted towards it.
But Ghost Recon, that's been a game that's been out for hella years, right?
Hella years.
Yeah, I never played it.
Hella years. They had hella remakes.
Check it out. If you're watching this live, you're lucky. If you're not watching live, we have some dope ass behind the scenes topics that we had. We're gonna put on our Patreon, so go support that Patreon page because we are entrepreneurs trying to, expand and grow and shit. Because I don't want to be broke out here forever, so support it. We dedicate every week, and this shit to the people. So, with that being said, we got a lot of things to discuss today. I know I got topics. Action has topics that we're gonna wait on for later. But I wanted to know, is there anything that you want to talk about right now? What's on your mind? Anything that you want to bring to the show today?
Who need to get cussed out?
What's on AP's mind?
And we can get into what's on my mind right now, but I'm just saying, I was trying to give you the floor.
I think I shared too much of my mind earlier. I mean, I don't mind repeating it because it might not have been live all the time.
Fuck it then, I'll share with you guys what's on my mind. I'm gonna start off with what the fuck is going on? I got a problem with like gamer chicks. I have a problem with it. At first thought it seemed sexy to me. Like it's a sexy concept at first. But the thing about women, y'all are so impactful that I don't know if y'all change shit on purpose, but no, real talk, like games now, this is gonna sound fucked up, but games now are less violent and I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. And then what's ill now is games now are also trying to incorporate social issues of today in video games. And I don't like that neither. I don't like it.
What video game is that you put in?
The Last of Us 2. I like that. They had like the little feminist agenda thing.
You know what's crazy? I started playing the first one, and then I stopped.
Why? Why?
Because after a while it got boring.
You didn't like the realism of it?
I don't play video games for realism.
I do. That's crazy. What did you want to do? Like, why did you get that game?
Because of the real. Well, it came with the Xbox. Was crazy. We got the Xbox One and it came with it. Okay. So it was one of the free games. Okay. But I started playing it, and in the beginning I was like, okay, this is pretty interesting, you know. But then it was like, all right, now I'm bored. Real quick.
This nigga, all right, now I'm bored. One thing that is saucy though is now I hear that there is an app for gamers. To me, there's a dating app for gamers. I do think that's a little saucy. Because I think gamers probably have a little bit of a hard time meeting people than regular people. If you are a real gamer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it depends on the type of gamers you are.
Yeah.
If you're a real gamer, and to the point that you make it as a form of income, or you always trying to get to the expert level with some shit, if you got the high score in any game in the arcade, you probably have a tough time talking.
Yeah, because you just focus on...
I'm telling you. You got the high score in Pac-Man, you got the high score at fucking Galactica, any of them old school arcade games, if you got the high score, you're probably not a very sociable person.
Yeah. Think of how old you are now.
Fuck.
But
fuck. Let's say high score in Galactica. Like niggas still playing Galactica for high scores right now.
Damn.
They got whole Fortnite tournaments. Nobody's playing Galactica no more.
My son definitely be like,
they got Call of Duty tournaments now.
You know what I noticed too? Like how censored the actual live chats are in the games now.
Oh yeah, they dumb censored now.
Yeah,
you say something, you can kick the fuck out.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you say, bruh, let you say. Because I'm thinking about something to say, but I don't really want to say. But let you say something about Asians.
Oh damn. Well, wait, but why on Call of Duty they be like calling people niggers and stuff still?
Wait, what?
Yeah, they was still calling people niggers because I remember my boyfriend was playing the game. Well, I don't know, he might have broke up with me, y'all. But anyway, so he was playing the video game, and he let me talk shit while he was playing the game, and somebody was like nigger, and then he gave it to me, and I was like, oh, you, huh?
I said, I'm sorry. I was telling you need to scoot over son.
Oh, me?
Yeah, look at all that room you got over there. You got me all up under seeing like.
Man, what? I've been banned.
Bro, no room on this right hand.
Okay, I just scooted over.
Look, what was you saying?
I'm sorry.
Well, I was talking shit, but it was like some kids talking about nigger and all types of shit. And then my son, when he plays Fortnite, it's some little white boys that be playing in his little group or something. Mm-hmm. They be calling them niggers. And I was like, first of all, you know better.
Well, you gotta report him. I think you gotta kind of report him.
Oh well, no, because my son will just cuss him out.
Yeah, you gotta report him. If you report him, it's all bad.
You know what's funny? Damn, that's some real shit. Because my son had told me that your son cussed him out on the.
Ooh. He probably has. No, because my son be cussing niggas out.
He be like, bitch ass nigga.
And he be so passionate about it. He be like, get your pussy ass off, you bitch ass nigga. I'm finna kick your ass, bitch. You get on my nerves, you bitch ass nigga.
That's hella funny.
He be like, you know what? Get your fucking ass out of my chat, bitch. The fuck out.
Wait,
fuck.
You smoke?
No.
Oh. But that's hella funny. But anyway, back to what I was saying though. I don't get a. You dropped my phone, found it.
I did drop your phone. I said sorry. Did I say sorry? Did you hear me say sorry?
I'm dying, nigga.
No, action dying. Action dying. We're killing action, y'all.
Alright. Who did that?
These niggas. See, that's what I'm saying. That's how easily we get distracted. I was talking about gaming, and this nigga is posing for the camera and doing some more other shit.
See, I'm not the only person that felt cute today. AP feels cute today.
I gotta fix the camera. You know.
AP's feeling kind of cute.
And shit.
So anyway, I don't know. I just feel like Yeah, okay, so I brought this up because I wanted to talk about.
Well, I like that quote, actually.
Oh, thank you.
I wanted to talk about censorship in male spaces because I just feel like this was another space that just ended up getting censored.
Okay.
And I'm just like, really, because you know they always say men we keep shit in and this is why niggas is crazy and they're promoting men should be more in touch with their emotions because we really don't have a lot of spaces to do that. And the only people we can talk to really is other dudes because other dudes relate to what the fuck we going through. But it's like even with Revamp, look who the fuck is here. It started off with 4 niggas.
I don't censor you guys.
You damn women.
That's all right. That's true.
But I'm
you damn women.
No, I won't be censoring.
You women in leopard coats.
You did censor Napoleon Dynamite.
Huh?
You women in leopard coats.
No, I did not.
You did.
No.
You tried to make it happy. We tried to make it funny.
No, I was just pro Pedro, but I didn't. No. First of all, because I missed the episode to even talk about my part. So, Napoleon Dynamite to me was about a city of underachievers, and Pedro was the achiever.
The whole city was special fucking ed.
It was all underachievers.
Pedro included.
Pedro was
that
the realest nigga
his
on
head because he was hot.
He got and that was some smart ass shit. He had too much hair. He had too much hair, and he knew the hair was making him hot. If it was Napoleon,
it was just a hot day. It was just a hot day. That's
Napoleon would have sat there and thought it was Tina the llama that made him hot, or some stupid shit like that. Pedro was the realest nigga on the movie. Like when he said he was gonna run for president, he did that shit. And when he said he was gonna get the popular girl, he did that shit. He gave her that ugly ass.
But the uncle was making money though.
So where nowadays what spaces do men have nowadays to congregate and shoot the shit?
Here, because I don't take away you guys' right to say shit. If I don't agree, I just say it. I say I don't agree, but I don't say you need to change your thought.
Gay club.
I don't feel comfortable.
Male gay club. Male gay clubs.
Male gay clubs?
Mm-hmm. That's where they get all emotional as much as they want and have their own free space.
Not necessarily.
Why not? Because, I can see that.
No, because even, I mean, as someone has been to gay clubs.
Damn, there's not an all-male gay club?
Hilarious.
Damn, they can't have that?
But even in the male gay club, it might be a trans man in there that was biologically a woman.
Look, see, that's when you get into too many details, you know.
She's now technically, by definition, a man.
Oh, I figured it out.
Look, we're not separating the beetles from the ants. You know, they're all insects.
Damn. They all grouped us together.
Bruh, duh. You just not realize that?
Ooh.
This is just like, and I'm not against it, but this is just like affirmative action, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is just like affirmative action. Fuck, I figured it the fuck out.
You kind of late. I'm not gonna lie. You pretty.
But I hate the whole concept and that's the thing. I mean, I don't know if all women believe it, but that's something that the feminists always ascribe to is like men are the enemy, and I hate that whole fucking concept.
Well, the only thing is with the feminist movement, not all women, just like with gangs and all that stuff, it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody feels that men are the enemy in feminism. Sometimes they are in male-dominated industries where they're just asking for equal pay. That's all they're asking for.
See what you just male-dominated industries, right?
Yes.
So now I just want to ask a question. Why is it if I brainchild an idea to open a restaurant, right? Mm-hmm. No, it's not even a restaurant. That's a bad example. If I brainchild an idea to open a security company, mm-hmm. and I went through everything that I did, I set it up, I did the money, and I did everything I needed to do to make this happen. Mm-hmm. And I hired male security guards. Mm-hmm. Why would there be a movement to say, there would be a movement to say, hey, you need to hire more women. Therefore, I guess, going back to what I was saying about the infiltration of male spaces.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not, when I say male-dominated...
So what I'm saying is, basically what I'm saying is, like, all right, how they group this up, because anything that, like, back then, anything white dudes did got criticized.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it was an all white male, anything got criticized because back then white males were they was the enemy. Like how they are today, that's what they always paint like white males as like the oppressor.
Mm-hmm.
What now I'm saying is we all group together now. And even just heterosexual is grouped in with this oppressive facade that they keep pushing.
Whoa, you mean as being a straight man is grouped in with also being a white man?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Now we're grouped in because I feel like that. Because I'm saying anything that is.
Hold on, this the only time we get to be grouped in with the white people?
I'm telling you.
Damn.
I mean, because at the end of the day, in all groups, there's still going to be minority, majority, or things like that. Like, for instance, even with what you're saying as far as the male population all grouped together, they do the same thing with the LGBTQ. Everybody's lumped together. So it's, oh, you guys are all pedophiles, or the homosexuality is the gateway to pedophilia. It's like, whoa, there's heterosexual people fucking with little kids. So it's like we're the fall people, or you're bisexual, you're gonna want to have sex with me, and it's like, whoa, what?
As a black man, you gotta love yourself.
I'm just talking about like the absence of male spaces. And I'm going to the next time. But I'm just talking about the absence of male spaces. I just feel like now it just seems like if there was such a thing, it would be criticized. Like we were talking about that a couple podcasts ago. If there was a straight pride parade, it would be criticized.
Well, it would be more of a kind of redundant. Because it's supposed, allegedly, homosexuality is supposed to be abnormal, so it's not supposed to be the broader population or the majority. So to have a straight pride parade is kind of odd. It's
so
almost like
if homosexuality becomes a normal thing, then do you still have that parade?
What if homosexuality became the norm,
which it is kind of now a normal thing?
Well, it's only considered the norm because now they're putting it more on the TV, but it's still abnormal. People are still saying majority culture is saying that it's an abomination, it's a sin. You're impressioning my child. You're swaying my kids. Whoa, hope is doomed. We're not gonna have kids. The population rate is gonna go down. Everybody's gay, and it's like. At the end of the day, they were saying that same thing about other demographics too, Latins or black people. Like, oh, you guys are taking up, you're putting them all on TV now, and and now it's gonna be okay for my child to see niggers on TV, and it's like, what? Like, what's going on with this fear mongering that keeps happening when something different is being introduced?
But yeah, I feel like it's being introduced in.
Yeah, I think there's a line
I think the marriage is a good example. Mm-hmm. As opposed to, okay, I feel like if the whole idea of becoming union in one was the concept that they wanted, then I was like, well, why can't the gay community come together and create their own institution of union? Instead, and I'm not like a nigga that's for marriage. I'm just using this as an example. Don't get it fucked up. I'm just using it as an example. I'm saying instead of just creating your own union, why did you force yourself into that union? Or why did you force yourself into that institution instead of creating your own?
I mean, well,
why don't you create your? Why do you force yourself into these other? I guess why do you force yourself into things that I like instead of creating your own? Like why don't you have your own channel? And forgive my ignorance if you do have your own channel.
Yeah, they do.
So that's what I'm saying. So
they actually do have their own television channel.
And there's.
Yeah, I used to watch.
It is the only gay channel. I was like, bro, what? I thought it was pretty saucy because I'm like.
But that's the thing. That's the issue. That's one of the issues is that marginalized groups have to be boxed away somewhere. So it has to be a channel for all women. It's got to be a channel for all men because there's a channel for all men too.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I used to watch 100 Ways to Die on that show, on that channel. What was
Spike
it
TV?
Spike TV.
That was not a show for all men.
Well,
it wasn't.
It was. I know what you. It was very.
It was male dominated because of the shit that they were showing.
The show.
Yeah.
Because women wasn't fond of the shit that they were showing.
Well, I used to watch the shit.
Majority women.
They used to have hell shit on Spike TV.
They used to have hell like shit that men.
Misogynistic shit. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not even just misogynist. It's like just shit men want to see.
It would be like a show where a girl is talking and she got to bounce her boobs while she's talking. It's like I mean, that type of stuff.
But that shit was accepted back then. Like, you could just be openly like that.
But it was on one channel, though. You know?
But then that's the same thing with the logo channel. So all the gay community, all of the homosexual, transsexual, two-spirited, all of them gotta have one channel. Like, they're all together. Some of the people in the LGBTQ community isn't even sexual orientation; it's sexual identity. So. There's a difference between orientation and identity.
I'm not gonna get into it.
No, we don't have to. But I'm just saying that if you think that it's hard to be lumped in to all men, it's even harder for the LGBTQ to be lumped in because not all of them wish to sleep with the opposite sex. Not all of them even identify like just because they want to put on a bra under their work suit. That they're gay. Like, no, this man just happens to want to dress like a woman.
Like the nigga that just wanted to wear a thong.
Or some people that feel like they're not male or female. They identify as a spirit, an entity, a bird.
Nigga, you inhabit, you have sexual organs.
Right, but as far as sexual orientation, they're not saying because I have genitals, a certain identified genitals, I no longer want to talk to the opposite sex. I want to do this. They're not even worried about sexual orientation. Their thing is about their identity.
Okay, before we get hot here, the last thing I'm gonna just say, or the last question I'm gonna have before we move on to the next shit I have to get into was barbershops. Do we have the barbershop still?
No.
Shit, I was gonna say I don't think we got the barbershop.
Yeah, y'all do.
No, we don't.
Got the barbershop.
No, we don't.
I get my hair cut. I'll be the only woman in there.
Niggas censor themselves when the single mamas come in.
No, they do. They do. But it also depends on the rapport that they get with you too. Because some I've been to some barbershops where they talk freely. As long as my child is in there.
The only time you have as a man, I'm sorry.
Like if I go in there, on my own, they talk freely. But if I'm in there with my minor child, they'll butt instead of ass, or they won't talk about certain stuff because a child is in there, not because I'm in there with my grown ass.
Only space a man has to freely just, be and do his things.
But I also don't try to change men's faces. So that might be one of the reasons why they feel a little bit more comfortable. Because I don't know.
That is why you're still on reading.
I don't feel comfortable that you're talking about running a train on this girl, I don't feel comfortable. That's horrible. Like, I'm not going to change what y'all talking about in y'all environment in order to be around. Y'all didn't ask me to come get my hair cut.
So, I'd love to go inside. I'd love to go somewhere and just a group of white people just having a whole racist conversation. I would really sit there. I would really sit there and listen.
You haven't?
Just for like research purposes,
right?
Just informational purposes.
Oh my God,
this nigga just to collect data and shit.
Like,
I already know you.
See them have a whole racist conversation.
Yes, they. Oh my God! And the thing is,
I would love, bro. I would really sit there.
They do it, and they do it. They do. The thing is, they'll do it.
Not on their panic.
Like if you're like my son's old school, for instance, I end up joining a bunch of the committees because of how they spoke of the black and brown children. When they didn't know you're walking in and you can hear them talk.
Uh-huh.
So they're like, oh, these kids, these poor kids, they walked in here and they're destroying everything. Oh, these kids. And it's like, so then I'm interjecting in the back of the room. I'm like, excuse me. If it's always the black and brown children, are you saying that there was never any bullying before we got here? None of the kids? And are you also assuming that all of us are low income?
Ooh.
Is that what you're saying? So you're saying that none of the people that look like you in this room are jobless, or stay-at-home mothers, or receiving government aid. That's what you're saying. And what do you do when you find out that your child is the aggressor, but they happen to get their ass beat? What do you do?
They still be mad. They be
hella mad because my son had been spit on before by this little girl, and he didn't beat her ass, but he just bopped her. You feel me? Just bitch.
You Donkey Kong.
Yeah, and they suspended my son for a day, and then the parents wanted to meet with me. I said I would love to meet with her parents because
your son a better man than me.
No, because he still don't hit a girl, but that was a physical assault. Like, so when I talked to them, I said my son will be here tomorrow because they was trying to do, I think, like a 3-day suspension or something. He will be here tomorrow because my thing is, if I spit in your face right now, what would you do? Because I tell you, if you spit in my face, my whole soul coming out of my body. Y'all gonna have a stay away order for me, and I will wait for you every day. Like, the fuck out of here, bitch.
So I was in therapy the other day, and I realized.
Crazy, y'all.
I realized it's a lot of me shit that I have to, explore and it's a lot of me shit I gotta explore and figure out, niggas,
For sure,
niggas affected. I am jaded, and which brings me to a question I wanted to ask you guys is, do y'all feel like black people in this country should be allowed free therapy based on the PTSD that we inherit genetically and that we just go through on a day-to-day?
I feel like that's an interesting question. Because I personally feel like whatever you paying that therapist, you should have paid me. Because I've been telling you shit. But you just needed to hear from somebody who got a license, I guess.
Yeah, an unbiased ear.
So, okay, can you answer my question?
I'm saying niggas need to listen to the shit around them and stop being so goddamn closed off and so interpersonal inside themselves, Get their head out their own ass.
Damn.
Because it don't take a therapist to tell you shit that you already know.
Sometimes it does.
Sometimes.
It's not even the fact of the therapist. Sometimes it's just talking shit out loud. And you really have those eureka moments yourself. You just need that ear. It's not even necessarily a therapist.
Just niggas not disciplined.
Sometimes therapists are trained to ask certain questions that unlock those certain eureka moments that you need to have.
Yeah, if niggas stop fucking themselves with their own heads, maybe they could take time to think about it.
But we all go, nobody's perfect. We all go through shit, right? Everybody get depressed and all that type of shit. So what I'm saying is sometimes you might go to your homeboy and talk out your problems, and sometimes your homeboy might tell you what you want to hear. Sometimes you might go to the homeboy who might give you the honest opinion, but still it's not what you needed to hear.
Or the delivery was off.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, I understand what you're saying, but a therapist is trained to ask certain questions that will get you to find the answers yourself, instead of you just venting out what your problem is.
Yep. And on top of that, sometimes when you're talking to people a lot of times they do have a bias. Like, say for instance, you venting about your relationship with somebody that already knows this person or already knows what they put you through or whatever. A lot of times they're going to say, girl or dude, you don't need to be fucking with that person, instead of actually asking, well, what did you do? What led to this? How did it make you feel? Well, what are you going to do next? Is it something that's worth exploring? Things like that, versus just saying you did nothing wrong.
But those are just common sense questions. And I guess for me, it's just the fact of simple just questioning, thinking, and looking at shit. And maybe I'm just the only person that actually thinks. But I feel like any person that thinks, they're gonna look at shit and
you ain't jaded at all, huh?
So there's not any time, because you just said yourself that people don't need a therapist, they can talk to you. So essentially you would then become their therapist. So why would they need to come talk to you then?
So I could tell them the same simple shit that they
okay. So there's free support groups too, that people that don't know you. So when they first coming in, they're not coming in with a predisposed notion, because they don't know who you are and what it doesn't sound like you would do. So if you come to them and tell them about your coworker that was an asshole, they're not gonna go, well, yeah, girl, because you're normally quiet, and why would somebody fuck with you, and only to find out later on it was you. You were being an asshole in the break room. You keep occupying the microwave, and people are tired of it. So it's
if
like
you need to pay a therapist for that.
Well, no, because sometimes it's because that person. You're walking into a room with someone that does not know you at all from jump, and you're talking to them, so they're able to pinpoint something that your friend normally that knows you already. They're gonna probably go off of what you're known to do, what doesn't sound like would be you. X, Y, Z. It's different.
So you need a therapist. You need to pay a therapist to help you look upon your own issues and problems and analyze what you're going through.
Sometimes you do, but y'all, neither one of y'all answered my question. The question
I haven't gotten to answer your question. I was responding.
Actually, maybe I'll get somewhere. Do you feel like black people in this country should be allowed free therapy?
Yes, But I also would question: are they providing said therapists? Because if so, we do not need that. You can't.
You can have a therapist of your choice.
But even then, like, if they're the ones covering it, wouldn't those people still need to be approved by them? So that means they probably are taught a certain type of doctrine or have a certain type of bias. You know, some therapists or doctors are told that we don't even experience pain.
I'm saying whatever. I'm saying it's a new law, nigga. Black people, nigga. If you want that plant to be a fucking therapist and it make you feel better, so be it. But it's whatever you was gonna pay to take it out the plant store. It's on the house. Go ahead and go grab it and go talk to that plant. That's what I mean. I'm just saying, as a whole, as a concept of therapy and what therapy should mean, should we be allowed free access to that?
Yeah, but I still would question why they approve that person or why they allow me to. I mean, I would question them, period. Because
they say you can go fly to Africa and go to see your therapist in Africa.
I'll be like, well, what made them approve that?
If it helped you feel better.
Like,
some niggas talk to their cats, some niggas talk to their
I feel like I would question. I would feel like I would question why are they allowing this to happen now after all this time?
Because they said we recognize that y'all niggas
but they have PTSD.
I'm just saying they just had in this scenario, they just said, okay, we're going to provide this for the betterment and improvement of the country. So now we're going to provide y'all. We recognize what we did. We're going to provide therapists of your choice.
I would say that it's okay to have therapists, but I would still question the why and what is the blowback later. Why? Because they've given us affirmative action. That was a blowback. They've given us opportunity to be free. There was definitely a blowback with that. They also allowed us to be in their spaces, in their education, acquire certain degrees, make certain pay wages now, move into certain neighborhoods. And every single turn, all of those different instances has always been at our disadvantage somewhere.
I think having a therapist for black people.
If we can have a therapist where they, like, if they're going to pay maybe a stipend or whatever, but if it's on an approved list, no, don't go there.
I think it's just a band-aid to a whole issue.
Because your
glass is always half empty.
I mean, when it comes to the
it's not solving the fact that you're not thinking.
Yes,
I can tell you from
I got on a certain type of glasses.
It's not solving the fact that you still
I hate that y'all just brought me back on the topic of white people in the government because I was trying not to this week.
You gotta do better.
I was not gonna do it this week.
You gotta do better, Sam.
I'm saying, let me rephrase the question.
You gotta do better.
Fuck out of here,
That's
bro.
what you gotta do.
Do you think that black people in this country need therapy?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I feel like black people in this country need to fucking think.
I just don't think
I feel like they just need to think. Use they fucking brain.
Okay, talk about it.
It's all just common sense shit, bro. None of this shit is fucking rocket science. None of this shit is part of building.
You know, people don't know why they depressed sometimes. People have no idea. They don't know their own emotions.
If you take time and fucking think.
No.
If you take time and fucking think.
That some people don't know themselves.
And then on top of that, sometimes
that comes with thinking.
And then sometimes
who am I? That's the thought, right? Like, have you never
if you ask somebody, you know, a lot of people can't really answer that.
Sir,
or their answer will be so surface.
Yeah,
they're answering on the surface
because they never thought of it.
Who are you?
They never thought of it.
Who are you?
I don't know. I never thought.
Well, goddamn. So we're gonna ask Mr. I don't know for therapy. Do you want to go? Do you want to go? Okay. The anti-therapist who's a therapist that doesn't know who he is.
All I'm saying is, bro, black people make a bunch of excuses for not thinking, and they always try to find band-aids for solutions.
I mean, I really can't take nothing you say as you don't know yourself, bro.
Remember who you are.
Oh, man.
Am I a tiger?
God
I don't feel much like a tiger.
So if you do agree that black people need therapy, would you say that black people are in somewhat of an unstable state?
Yes.
Elaborate.
Here we go.
Go for it.
So since we were on our way here, not even setting foot here, on our way here, we experienced a process called seasoning, where we were on boats and we were purposely separated from tribes. So if I was on a tribe with you guys, Revampia, they're gonna have me sitting with someone that does not speak my language the whole fucking boat ride. in the dark. We don't know where we're going. From that alone, and you're laying next to someone that's dead. You're laying next to someone who is in distress, but you can't help them. You're laying next to people who y'all can't help each other at all. And then you got people upstairs or even down there that looks like you that actually was the ones that sold you in. That was the one that grabbed you, and now they're back in chains. So that was already a traumatic experience already. You gotta learn how to survive with a group of people that you don't know, but you all look the same, so you're trying to identify, but you can't even speak to each other. And then you guys are separated on land. Then they're killing people off in front of you and all types of shit. That alone, that transit alone, was already traumatic. The fact that you don't know where you are. You've been on a boat this whole time. So a lot of people that be saying it's a choice, just from the transit alone, what direction did you just go? You don't know where you went. So how did I choose to be here? All I can do is choose to survive. Because now I'm somewhere I don't even know how to get out of or away from. I don't have the tools to even figure out what direction is what. And I'm picking pieces together by the way a tree looks or the way the sun rises at a certain time. This is how I'm trying to make some sense of where I am, trying to find some type of normalcy that looks something similar to where I came from. That's traumatic. And then they're expecting us to have some type of moral compass. They had people that was in fields from sun up to sundown that was using drugs. They were drugging a lot of those people to stay out in harsh weather, working from sun up to sundown. That is traumatic. Not only for that person who's hooked, but now they're birthing a child that's dependent on drugs. And the cycle continues. Then they turn around, they separate you from your folks. So they'll allow you to fall in love with somebody and then separate you from him. Or they're going to fuck him in front of you. Or they're going to fuck her in front of you. That's traumatic. Because now those two people can't look at each other. That bond has been broken. You didn't protect me and you don't see me as a man. That is traumatic. Because the one person I should be able to rely on is my man. The one person he should be able to rely on is his woman. And that shit is passed on after that. So now it's a bunch of broken ass families because neither side sees each other as a partner but more like an enemy. So we got hella different little fuck shit. Then we get free. I'm not even going to keep listing all that shit because it's a bunch of shit they did. But even once we got free, they gave us a little bit of freedom and then created some law enforcement system. The KKK. Slave catchers was still stealing people because even after it was abolished, they still was putting some people in slavery via sharecropping, in underground slavery. They was sex trafficking people. They still was basically essentially pimping us out. So at the end of the day, that's traumatic. Then they allow you to move into certain neighborhoods. They bully you. They bully your kids. They still make you feel like the only way you can be desirable is if you talk like this or you change your name. And even us having a fucking name is traumatic. You can't even name your kid whatever the fuck you want to name them, but they can name their kids Wallaby. The fuck? So that's cute. It's cutesy to name your child Jack Wallaby. But if I wanted to name my daughter Equestriana Chartasia, oh no, you're not hireable. That is traumatic, where you got to keep explaining your shit to someone that is no better than you. It's traumatic to have to sit there and feel like the only way you're going to advance is if you're in white spaces and white places. That is traumatic. Who told you that? The same people that we've been trying to run away from, we now trying to live up under them because that's the only way we're going to get somewhere. That's traumatic. That is rooted from trauma. So I have a problem with the fact that we're still trying to figure out how to appear whole to these people, are okay to these people. We're not okay. And it's a bunch of fucked up shit. Like, even trying to figure out why this person is acting like this, why these people wear gold chains, why they gotta be loud, why they gotta do that, why this black woman so aggressive, why this black dude so aggressive. Like, we can be that. We're in a country that was built on aggression, built by aggression and murder and manipulation. It's the same people that's coming up with these laws are the same people that's protecting their shit from being taken from them because they took it from somebody. And they took some people here to keep the shit running. Like, we've got a bunch of laws that they can't even abide to this day. And the only reason why it was put in place is so they don't lose their footing in a country that they fled to because they weren't making it in their country. So it's like, I'm not fucking with it. So all that little shit, yes, we need help, but I don't think they'll ever be able to be the ones that give it to us. And if they do approve for black people to have some type of trauma counseling and stuff, it's going to come with a blowback. They've never given us anything that did not bite us in the ass later.
That's the answer you were looking for?
I will never dream of therapy at the hands of white people.
No, I just said therapy. All right, but that was powerful though. I would kind of just add on. How does that affect us in the 21st century?
It affects me a lot. I've tried.
I just want to say, keep in mind, we're still talking about the mental instability and what we're going through. Not Slay, I'm talking about what are we going through now in like 21st century. That's fucking insane.
What we're going through is the black folks that want to invite everybody to the cookout. They're still looking for a friend.
Oh shit.
This one ain't bad. Oh, all of them are bad. I have a question. If all of them didn't have the ability to be bad, why were we in slavery for so long? If all of them weren't bad, and it was only a small group that were slave owners and the rest weren't, why were we still in chains? Not one of them was able to stop them. Not one of them was able to stop doing business with them because they understand business. So at some point, if family members, friends, business partners, judges, whoever was here, and they knew that shit was wrong, none of that shit would have kept going. So I have to know.
You think there was not a one-way person?
I don't think it was enough. I think it was some real ones that, died because they knew, shit wasn't right and they was going to do what they had to. So yes, it was some real ones, but it was not enough. Just like in these day and times, there's not enough of them that are decent people. It is not enough because they're telling us that, oh, it's wrong what they're doing to y'all. Oh, I love you, so therefore I love your people. But once that love leaves, they don't fuck with the rest of us because you represent all of us to them. So not you or whoever, but whoever needs to hear this, you're representing, because they see us as a whole, as a collective. So you represent the good or bad that you do represents for everybody. So if you're that one good friend, lover, coworker, cousin from down the way, the person that was cool to them and juvie and shit, once you piss them off, they don't fuck with the rest of us.
Let me say, I'll say this. Let me say this, and this is just my own personal shit. Like me, let's say this, not elaborate a little bit. Me personally, when growing up, the type of white people that I've encountered, I really wouldn't be, I don't know, like the ones that just seem like too with the liberal shit,
the issues that I have with that type is they're telling us they're with us, but they're not correcting the issue where it needs to happen.
And I'm not disagreeing with you. I just want to add on a little bit too. Like me personally, when I was asking that as far as like what's fucking with us, I would just say like shit as far as like where to start. Imagery is for one. Like we started off with very poor imagery, and when they started having like television and shit.
It was before that. They were doing propaganda in books. They were doing paintings.
For sure.
They were spreading the word that we were just horrible.
For sure. So they had on radio, because it was radio before it was a TV.
They had a radio.
For sure. So, okay, propaganda is what's fucked us up. Now, this is going to be ignorant, forgive my English. Did niggas have radios back then? Or was that like a luxury?
Did black people?
That was a luxury?
Are you talking about like
I'm saying like back in like the 1920s, 1910s, before TVs was out, and they had radios. I'm like, was a radio a luxury? Did niggas have radios too?
It was a luxury.
That was a luxury.
It was a luxury at that time.
So
pianos was a luxury, even a broken piano.
So radios for sure. Okay, so if niggas really didn't have radios, niggas wasn't hearing the propaganda, but they were still spreading amongst themselves then, so to speak. Okay.
But niggas heard it. You couldn't walk. I'm pretty sure you had a better chance of hearing exactly what they thought about you back then than these days. These days it's
they walk down the street and just say it.
Yeah, these days it's hidden behind. I have a black friend. I have a black man. I have a black woman. I have a black coworker. Black Lives Matter. Wearing their dashikis or getting their hair done, but like ours, the dudes are getting their hair done like cut like black dudes now. Like
you get it in forms of little pumps and shit.
Yeah, I'm over it. Like it's so much, and the thing is, it's happened so long that even the well-meaning ones don't see the problem in it. So it's coming off that if you think a certain kind of way, people like me, like I'm the problem because I'm not letting things go. Are we not? Did we not just deal with at least 8 young brothers last year that was hung? We're in 2021. 2020. There were black men being hung.
Nobody should be getting hung.
Exactly. But we're supposed to overlook this shit. And I think it was just this year in the beginning at Lake Merritt. People were someone hung some white figures on the trees. I thought it was a noose or something. No. Exactly. It was a noose, but somebody also did like a white figure, so my whole
nobody should know how to make a noose in 2021.
I mean, well, people that fish maybe or hunt.
But look, hold on. But I'm trying to get back to my point.
Hanging it from trees, you a pussy for that.
So we had imagery, right? Then the whole idea, we were so fucked up that we wanted to prove our loyalty to the country, right? So I think that's a sign of mental instability. So what the niggas do, straight off the plantation and shit, they went straight into the service. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I think that was some wild shit. Some niggas, I don't know. Some niggas say they do it for the experience. Some niggas do it because they feel like they real patriots too. You feel me? Me personally, I think that's wild. They ain't
got no other option.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. A lot of people, because even not just black people,
do it just to stay out the street.
That still fuck you up mentally. Though.
A lot of people.
The experience you have in the military still fuck you up.
In the streets.
Yeah. Okay. So we got that. I know that's touchy, but I would just say our belief systems got changed. So it's a lot of shit that we just kind of got turned inside out. I feel like in a way, really nobody. We got turned the fuck inside out.
Yeah, and it's been centuries.
Even to this day, this is a sign of mental instability. What language are we speaking? That's wild as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Our last names. That's wild as fuck. But before I move on to my last topic, then we're gonna move on to the next person. You know what? Let's just move on. Move on to the next topic. Egos. I want to talk about ego.
We broke up like the Beatles.
I want to talk about ego.
God damn.
And I think this is a good segue because I feel like this is something that fucked us up too because we do have a very big ego problem amongst ourselves. I feel like, especially like black men, we have an ego thing, you know. I don't know. Maybe it's because of what you was talking about. We feel like now we just always in survival mode, and because of what we went through, a lot of niggas was turning against niggas to save their own lives and shit.
Yeah, bro. So a lot of that shit. Fucking egos.
Amazing. So my whole thing is I'm just trying to figure out this thing is how can we talk to how can we I think how can you convince a man in that state after all the shit that we've been traumatized and went through? How can you convince a man like that to put his pride to the side for the greater good? How can you convince a group of men to come together and put their pride to the side for the greater good?
Put a white man up front.
I don't believe that. Elaborate.
Niggas need a therapist. Put a white therapist up front.
So you think the only way to put a group of niggas' pride to the side is to have some white man intervene?
I don't know. I grew up in a nation, so I've seen the Million Man March. I've seen black men in solidarity with one another to see certain neighborhoods be cleaned up, get people off the street. I don't think it was enough willing participants due to informants and agent infiltration. They tore a lot of those initiatives down. So what kills our ego, or what appears to be ego, I think it is also a traumatic experience that's being shared. It's back, just in the Panthers alone, or Nation of Islam. Growing up and seeing that there were agents in there. That's infecting people. Anytime an agent was talking to somebody, they had the opportunity to sow a seed in them and make them feel like, okay, something wrong with this movement. There's something wrong with this leader.
Actually, have you ever, in your life, have you ever just had a group of men trying to put something together?
Yes.
And, and to this day now, from when you met them trying to put it together, are they still doing it, or have they stopped doing it, or?
Yes. Again, I grew up in the Nation of Islam. They it might not be as many of them active, and I think even with this COVID thing, maybe a lot have fallen off.
Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, I've seen brothers who've seen someone gunned down, and they made sure they stayed out until the community was back safe. They were on the streets. They were trying to find out who the killer was, or stuff like that, or making sure the sisters go home safe, or they're at the mosque detailing overnight because there was a threat to the minister or a threat to the participants in the nation. I've seen them come together. So if it was more of them and less informants, I think it would have really took off and been something.
Only time I see niggas really put their pride to the side is when it comes to a job.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I grew up with black positivity. Like, I grew up with more of that than seeing black men gunned down or.
I mean, I'm not even talking about gunned down. I'm just talking about, like, for me, my personal experience. I know, growing up, I've seen a lot of niggas that I've known personally click up, try to do something together, whether it was start a rap group, whether it was trying to start a business, whether it was graffiti or whatever the fuck it was. I done seen these niggas come together. Some niggas stayed together. Some niggas broke up. And a lot of times what I'm saying is, and with these, I'm not even talking on no political gun down. I'm not even talking about, I'm just talking about some everyday shit. A lot of times niggas cliques fall apart is because of ego. That's what I'm saying. How can we get a group of niggas trying to put something to a group of everyday niggas who are trying to come together and put something together? How can we alienate pride for the greater good?
I think since that is a normal, I mean, not a normal, but it is a human emotion or a character. It's a character. I don't think you can.
Regulated.
I think it can be regulated, yeah, but I don't think that anyone is above feeling pride. Like, even as like Buddhists, they have to constantly, remind themselves on the manifest. Right? Yeah. So that's why I'm like, somebody can be prideful to the point where it could be foolish, and then sometimes you can be prideful and just know my dignity is better than this, or my morals is better than this. So I'd rather go without this than to sell this to get this. So I think it depends on why their ego or their pride is coming out, I guess. Like, sometimes people might be asking you to do something that is literally beneath you. Like, you're not gonna make me sing your praises, but I'm the one doing all the work. You're never showing up. You're never doing this. You're never doing that. But then when it's time to get credit, you're there. Like, those type of things, I can see someone going, you know what, this is not working for me. That could be a thing. Lack of communication could be a thing. It might not necessarily be ego at the core of it. It could be the fact that people simply grow apart. Like, at one point, y'all all might have wanted to do a rap group, but now this person needs to help their mother pay bills, and rapping right now isn't making any money, so therefore they fall off of it. This person might have realized this was more of a collective thing, and I valued it more when we all spent the time to do it, but it's not really a career move for me. It's more of a hobby. And then someone else might have been doing it just because the rest of the friends were doing it. It wasn't real passion. So I don't think necessarily it's always ego. Sometimes it's just people grow apart.
I know these niggas from back when I was growing up at the saucy ass school. And I know these two niggas who started the group, right? And these whole niggas like clicked up, and when they all clicked up, it went from like 2 deep to being like 15.
Like a record label?
It was just a clique of niggas trying to come together and make shit happen. But eventually, ego got in the way.
That's what it means.
So, basically what happened was, the two niggas who started the shit was the main ones who was putting in the legwork and going out networking and doing that type of stuff. While you had other cats who was just basically just coming out and playing verses and going back to the legend. So it gets to the point where the two niggas is basically like, it appears as if they calling shots or be like, all right, we about to do this, we finna do this. So where other niggas is like, man, these things think they run shit.
Because at a certain point, that's what it has to be. And that's the
right.
only time niggas is going. And if it's a white man doing it, they will put their ego to the side.
That would not be a real solution.
Bro, the only time I see them ever do it is for a job.
So, that is the whole... See, I asked this question, what a solution? Because that's what I think revamp should be about. I'm tired of just asking questions and not having an answer. One solution that I feel would help alienate this problem is I think it has to start from childhood, and I think we should teach our kids how to regulate pride at an early age and not let things go to our heads. Because allowing that to happen, then you get the whole time foolish pride. And it's a lot of foolish people. So, because a lot of people aren't, because men in general, we ain't really taught to regulate our emotions anyway. You see a well-adjusted nigga, you shocked. It's like, damn, that nigga really know himself. But a lot of niggas are fucking really don't know themselves. They really not in touch with themselves. And that's a part of it too. So, you get things like envy and all these negative traits that come with that shit if you don't really, if you aren't taught like certain traits like humility and just integrity and shit like that. So no, I don't think a white man has to have anything to do with it. I think it's just being taught how to regulate that shit early.
Well, that's with everything, right?
Yeah.
That's the broad solution to everything.
That's not really a broad solution. To really sit your child down.
To every issue?
Fam,
is that not where it starts?
And on top of that, everybody's pride doesn't surface the same way. So how do you regulate pride if you don't know if that person is necessarily being prideful? Because like even in your scenario, sometimes that might not be pride that causes someone to fall off or to take over or whatever. It might not be pride. Sometimes it's literally, y'all niggas is falling off, I might not step up.
Nobody said them two niggas was proud.
Oh, no, not in that particular scenario, but your original one about, like you said, a group of friends come up with a group.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In that scenario, them two niggas wasn't like, oh, we run shit, but it was like, since we're the ones going out doing the legwork, it's like we're the ones bringing back the information to let y'all niggas know.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the scenario before that, where you didn't give, like, a real life situation. You just was like, what if it was a rap group?
Okay. Yeah.
But in those instances, not everybody might not have the same passion, or they might not know how to really be a team player. So in their mind, they think, as long as I show up, like, you know, I'm showing up. And then some people are like, dude, I need you to pass the flyers out. I need you to be a listening board while I'm trying to come up with these lyrics. I need you to help me spell check, nigga, something. Bring me my juice, something.
What if it's a situation what if it's a situation where it's not that easy to walk away from? Say like you and 6 other friends, y'all pieced up on the LLC, and now y'all gotta make something happen. Now y'all gotta turn a profit, but once again, you're dealing with an ego situation.
Somebody has to be the leader to say, something's not right, we need to talk. If you're not trying to talk, is it a situation that's worth talking about? Is that the reason why you don't want to talk? Because it's not worth it to you? And if it's not worth it to you, is it affecting the collective? If it's affecting the collective and you don't want to talk it out, you might be the problem, nigga. If you're as invested as the rest of us are, get it off your chest so we can see if we can meet you down the middle, or if you could possibly want to dissolve your partnership in these. Because that could be support as well. Just realizing what I thought was helping is not helping. So I don't have the same passion as y'all, or I don't have the same talent. I don't understand what's going on anymore, or I just no longer want to do it. So I'm just going to fuck off what y'all doing because I don't want to do it anymore. Like, sometimes people be doing that shit instead of just saying, I'm not into it as I used to. Like, I'm not getting anything from it. So a conversation needs to be had where maybe they could either support in a different way. If they can do that, then that would be perfect too, because they don't have to be at the forefront. But maybe they could be the person that cheers us on, passes on a fucking flyer, hands the juice, something. They don't have to be in the forefront all the time. If you don't have the passion to be there, don't. But you gotta say that shit. You can't bring everybody else down because you no longer have that same passion because everybody else is trying to make it work. I think for the people that do notice that passion is gone, maybe that other person doesn't know how to word it. So having a candid conversation on your end, at least if you know you tried and you talk to them and they shut down, they were an asshole, they lied or whatever, at least you know you tried. And now moving forward, we might have to buy that nigga out. You might have to just stop expecting them to show up how you wanted them to because they're not. It's a bunch of different things that happen, but it don't necessarily be ego. Sometimes it be the fear of confrontation. It could be the fact that you don't feel that you have the talent to keep up, or it'd be hella different shit, not always necessarily ego.
What about just simply trying to get everybody to see the same vision?
I don't think everybody's going to see the same vision, at least all the time. Like, I grew up in a
I feel
house.
like if 6 niggas click up and get an LLC and be like, y'all niggas should have the fucking same vision.
Not necessarily. Sometimes the same vision is just starting a business, but how to get to the success, or some people's idea of success is just getting that LLC. And some people are saying my vision is 5 million, a staff of 300 people, we get to travel every year. And then some people are like, I'm just glad to be a business owner. I didn't have no plans for this after that. I just wanted to see if I can do it. They all still had a common interest at the same time, but the goals are different. That also comes in with, if you're going to partner with people, ask them what their goals are. And it doesn't hurt to have a meeting regularly. What are your goals now? Have they changed since the last time we talked? Are you still in it? Do you like it? Is there anything that you want to see change? Whatever. And if they can't sit down and do that, they are not a part of the collective. A decision might have to be made. It's hella different shit that happens. I mean, I grew up with friends that I can't even, I don't relate with. We're too different. Like me and Ass Eater, for instance, we relate in certain areas, but we're completely different in others. And that doesn't mean that we can't coexist. I do believe, out of all of my friends, I think we get each other for us to be so different. And at the end of the day, if we put it in terms of a business, she would be an actual partner, someone that even if we don't contribute the same, think the same, put in the same shit, want the same shit, we still are able to harmoniously coexist versus someone that I'm trying to make the pieces fit. Like with her, the pieces don't fit. We don't have a perfect puzzle because we're so different. But for some reason, our differences is always brought us together versus us trying to force something or make the other person look how we want them to. It don't work like that. You gotta know how to work around sometimes your friends or your partner's differences.
How do you convince a man to put his pride to the side for the greater good?
Has to be enough money on the table.
I kind of like that answer.
I mean,
though. I like
the reason why
that's the real
the reason why I don't necessarily agree. How many groups have money been on the table, and it's always somebody that gets greedy. It's always somebody that just still falls off. No matter how much money y'all making, they still won't show up. David Ruffin just won't show up to practice. Yeah, and that was another thing too. He couldn't stay clean enough to dedicate what he once was. So his vision then changes, and it's not on the same goal as everybody else. Or how Paul was an alcoholic, so his views or his vision or his hard work and all that shit is drastically changed than when he was the sober guy that only drank milk. Because I remember they pointed that out.
If there's enough money on the table, it should still keep going even if one or two falls off. Well,
yeah, because the Temptations, them niggas changed. Every 5 years was a whole new group. With Blue Ass, him, 5 new niggas. So can't get back to you, man. All different niggas.
Like I said, I feel like to convince a man to put his pride to the side for the greater good takes a very good, clear, concise conversation of like what the vision is. Because sometimes, like you said, that might be what it is. It's a miscommunication or it's a misunderstanding. So, and then I also, so basically, having that clear-cut, concise conversation. I think also, I guess also helping him see the vision is seeing the potential in and the benefit that comes from it, if I'm using the right word, benefit right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the benefit that comes from it.
Yeah.
I feel like I think the hardest part is like trying to convince the person they being prideful in the first place, though. Especially like I said, as men, we're not taught to identify with our emotions like that. We're told that's a feminine thing. We're told that to be in touch with yourself is feminine. So niggas really don't know. Niggas don't know how to explain what they feeling a lot of the time.
That's sad.
Say what? You said that's sad?
It is sad.
But I mean, it's true.
Or you masturbating if you're touching yourself.
That was random as fuck.
That is, especially since my vibrator keeps going off randomly in my purse.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are not taught. We ain't taught to. Some of us. I mean, some niggas know exactly what they feeling. Don't get me wrong. All niggas ain't out here like zombies. Some niggas know what they talking about, but a lot of niggas don't know what the fuck they feeling. Don't know how to express it sometimes. And I feel like it does take like that leadership quality to know that about your people around you.
Or a therapist.
Yeah, because especially when you're like,
you got to be somewhat of a therapist when you take on that type of position. If you don't, you got to be somewhat of that.
Yeah, you can't take it personal that they're not regulating their pride in the manner that you think they should. Sometimes with realizing that you're being prideful, you might have to remove yourself from that situation. It's triggering for you. Like, I can't be vulnerable around you. I have to appear like I can go without this. I don't need you. I don't want to be here. And reality is the complete opposite. That means sometimes they can't be vulnerable around that other person because they feel like you're going to emasculate them or make them feel bad or make them feel like you feel like they need you or something like that. So it's a bunch of different things. It's not necessarily like always pride. Like sometimes.
That is pride. Everything you said proves pride.
No. That what I described there was, but I'm just saying like what I listed earlier. Like people realizing it's not their passion or stuff like that. Like sometimes it's not pride, and other people are identifying it as that. So it puts people in the defensive because they're like, you're talking to me about something that's not even the issue. I've had people call me that I haven't talked to in a minute and try to tell me what I need. You're going off of something that not even my problem right now. So I could either sit on the phone and be humble enough to allow you to just talk, or I can use my pride to say, hey, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Now, if you want to help me, give me $1 million. That's what I need. But what you calling me for right now ain't even my issue. And that person will take it as, oh, she's being prideful or she's being defensive. But it's, look how you just came at me. Bitch, that's not even my issue. What are you talking about? And since you feel like I need to humble myself, now you're making me have to be quiet and listen to you talk about something that's not even the issue.
What if, I know a tactic people use to try to like break that is like, in order to get people to tell the truth, they'll tell a fake truth.
Oh yeah, women, we do that shit all the time. We do. We'll know one piece of something. No, we'll know one piece of something. Like if we know you said that you was gonna hang out with your partner, and then all of a sudden you back at home taking a shower, we ain't talked to you in about an hour, but your friend was in San Francisco. How the fuck you even end up back at home that fast? What's going on? So I'm gonna bring up something.
Like a Dr. Seuss detective.
I mean, well, I write poetry, so that shit just happens. But Captain. Okay, so now that part was on purpose, but that's not the point. So we'll use half truths to get you to tell the full truth.
But what I'm saying in this instance, I feel like when you're trying to get somebody to put their pride to the side for the greater good, you might have to almost let your, not necessarily lie.
Tell the white lie?
Not even that. Well,
because a black lie is too big to tell?
Black lives matter, nigga.
Black is always big.
Anyway,
No, that's a half lie.
Black Lives Matter.
No, so what I'm saying is, though, when you're trying to get somebody to put their pride aside to the greater good, you don't necessarily have to tell them a white lie, but you can, in a way, humble yourself enough to kind of like, what's the word, placate them a little bit.
But see, the only thing is, to me, if we're defining someone else as prideful, we're telling them that they need to humble themselves. Who are we to tell them that they need to humble themselves?
Bitch, be humble.
For sure.
But
sit down.
In order for you to tell them to be humble, you're telling them to
sit down
so you can feel comfortable.
Yo, shit fucking up my frequency right now.
Right?
You need to vibrate somewhere else.
But then to feel like you have to correct them or fix them, sometimes that's basically speaking towards your need to have to humble.
You in a library and a nigga come up in there all on the phone like this, and I told that bitch while I did that down, she can suck my.
I'm humble as fuck.
But that's not.
These niggas proud as fuck up in here, bruh. I don't know, bro. Y'all niggas rude as fuck.
These are proud ass, bookworm ass niggas acting like they ain't never.
But in those instances, do you feel the need to correct that person?
Hell fucking yeah.
Because usually those type of people ain't even correcting them. They're removing them or they're ignoring them. They're not sitting over and talking about, I need to fix you.
No, don't do that in my ear.
Okay, so usually in those instances, you're going to tell him to shut the fuck up, but you're not going to feel the need to fix him, placate him.
Unless you're a therapist.
Yeah, you might go, well, what made you feel you need
it's certain way you can talk to somebody without like trying to be, hey family, you know what I'm saying? Come on, bruh. Other than, hey, bro, can you shut the fuck up? It's a certain way you can try to diffuse the situation.
Yeah, but then that's basically bringing someone to your frequency if you're not using a loud tone. Because sometimes people aren't, that person might not be conscious that they're loud.
So were we proud when your guest came here that one episode and they were trying to get everybody to take shots?
Oh yeah, Shane, you were proud as fuck that day, boy. You were the proudest nigga in the world.
Y'all didn't even know what was going on after.
Y'all didn't even know what I was right there. I heard them.
Sin was walking around with his pride on his chest.
So what I'm saying, so we already had, like you said, we already had our dynamic and our setup, and we already know what it was. But somehow we are proud instead of instead of regulating the situation. It's not being proud, but we are controlling the situation. Hey, y'all, y'all doing too much.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing.
I don't see pride in that. I don't see pride in that.
I don't see pride in that. What was prideful was one of them responding that they've been kicked out of better places.
That was prideful.
That was prideful due to the fact that you guys did try to change the environment.
So how do you check that thing?
In those instances, me and another person ended up checking it.
Prideful.
I mean, to me, I don't care if I appear to be prideful.
No, I'm saying in your heart, did you feel pride when you did it?
No, I felt embarrassed because it was a group of women or two that I shouldn't have had to say that to, because I haven't had to do that with my other guests. My other guests never felt the need to change the environment.
Right, so all I'm saying is when somebody comes in disturbing a situation that's already has a certain rhythm, I don't find it prideful when you check or remove the disturbance. That's not pride.
No. But when we get to the point where we feel like we need to fix them, it's one thing if we go, hey, we don't do this here, chill out.
I mean, you do that with an employee, right? If you the supervisor, you go to your, hey fam, I don't want to just be like, you fired, my nigga, so I'm just letting you know. Last couple of times, he's 15 minutes late. Just, what I'm saying, try to work on that, bro. Get here early, bro. Set your time a little bit earlier.
Hey, bro, you don't know me.
Yeah, but see that part, there is a reason.
See, that's what I'm saying.
To me, I feel like there is a reason for the invested feelings with that one.
What?
I feel like there's a reason for the invested feeling to fix or correct.
Oh, you said you feel like it's okay.
Because in those instances, you're paying someone to do a service. They have agreed to do such thing. They have agreed that should I decide not to do or perform how this employer wants me to do, that they can let me go. Now, they're taking the time to talk to me, but they could have let me go today if they wanted to, because we have this agreement. But in the instance of the original females coming in here trying to change the vibe and shit, we didn't have an agreement with them. And actually, when I invited them, I told them, hey, this is the environment, da-da-da-da, and they came and breached the the expectation. No, the expectation that I set. I didn't need them. You don't have the room to agree because this is my shit. You're either gonna hear what I'm saying and receive it and adapt, or you can leave. Because when the shoe was on the other foot, I was in a situation or an environment that I'm not normal. That is not normal to me to be in a loud environment where there's a lot of partying all day, all night, y'all just up drinking. But I still adapted to it and had fun. I didn't feel the need to change it or to be a wallflower because y'all not doing what I want to do. I just adapted and opened up.
But I feel like for the same reason you say that employer should be invested, I feel like the same 6 niggas or the same 6 people who started that LLC should be invested, especially if they black. And here's why. Because I feel like when you're doing something that is almost going against our lives because it's already a stigma that niggas can't stick together. And especially for me personally, I've seen a lot of niggas come together and then fall apart. I done seen a lot of groups come together and fall apart. I done seen a lot of friendships come together and just fall the fuck apart. So it's already a stigma. Like, motherfucker was telling me the other day, niggas act like crabs in a bucket. Niggas just pull each other down. So when these 6 niggas come together and get this LLC, you have to understand, nigga, you are on a task, you are on a mission to do something that is already said that you cannot do. It's already out there, you cannot do this. You're already destined to fail. You already at 100 to 1 odds, nigga. And I feel like, I guess that's the thing too, as the leader, you kind of have to instill that motivation and that inspiration in the soul of your people, I guess.
If you looking at it at 100 to 1 odds, nigga, every black man starting something is not fucking Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Alright. Elaborate, you lost it.
Imagine all the different possibilities he had to go through.
Right.
Bruh, at them odds, bruh.
I see what you say.
Come on, bruh. You're right, it's destined. It ain't no hope for it.
So that's the thing.
If you're looking at it with them odds, like, goddamn.
But that's the stigma that black men and black people have already in general, is that we don't stick together. You know what I'm saying? It's that crabs in the bucket stigma. So what I'm saying in this scenario with the LLC, it's like just as much as that employer has to be invested in his employee, nigga, we as this LLC are trying to do something that is already set up for us to not be able to do, and that should be able to be bonding. I feel like inspiration enough for everybody to want to push through that shit. So I mean, I don't know. It's go ahead.
I don't know.
I was just saying it's a very delicate thing, I guess, when you fucking in pride, especially with, like I said, because black men, especially. Go ahead.
I was just recently watching White Man Can't Jump.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, White Man Can't Jump. I was just recently watching that, and it was interesting when bro was saying basically black people, they'll rather look good and lose than to look bad and win. And he kept saying that, and kept, like, throughout the whole movie, he kept reiterating that, like, bro, no, your issue is you rather look good and lose.
Did you get that video?
That's right there.
Where is that? Oh, your issue behind the damn ashtray. I see what you did.
No, your issue is you rather look good and lose than to look bad and win. And I'm like thinking about that as a whole, as alone from it was reality, like nowadays. No, I'm not. Thinking about it in today's time, and I'm like, that's crazy, because we would rather look good and lose. So what does that say about our pride? Like, do we have to look bad and win? And why is it that we don't want to win that bad? And what does that mean as a whole for a generation? Will it always be us having to look bad to win?
And on that note, that's all I wanted to talk about today for Revamp. And the last thing, like I said, my only solution to that, I want to start coming with a solution. My only solution with that is, for one, teach your kids, how to regulate their emotions. It's okay to tell your sons, nigga, understand how you feeling, and it's okay to feel how you feeling. It's cool. Nigga. Honestly, I'm not kidding. If you want to cry, bro, nigga, don't be crying like, don't be wow, but nigga, when you hurt, it's cool, bro. Ain't nobody judging you when you going through it. It's okay. It's okay, bro. It's cool. So yeah, teach your children how to regulate their emotions, and that's all I wanted to talk about. And who else would like to get some shit off their chest?
Well, since we're talking about teaching kids how to regulate their emotions.
Oh shit! That was a cool segue. There we go.
It's been this trend for like the last couple of years for parents to record their kids while they're publicly humiliating them online. Their daughter started having sex. They want to post it online. Their son got all F's in class. They want to post it online. They want to post them whooping their ass and beating them and shit. And I always wondered, these things are happening under your watch. So, like if your child's getting all F's, that means the teachers never called you once. No. So my question is, because y'all know I gotta ask questions. It takes me 15 minutes to do it. So my question is publicly shaming your children online a sign of good parenting in a disciplinarian, or is it a sign that you parented too late?
It depends, I think.
That's interesting.
It depends on why you discipline. You say like your kid stole some money, you ain't gonna know he stole it till after the fact. Mm-hmm. Now if you choose to put him online with a sign that say, I stole 20, if that's how you choose to do it, hey, I'm not necessarily saying that's bad. That's a touchy area right there.
Yeah, that's interesting too.
That's a touchy area. Is it bad parenting? Like if I seen one of my like my cousin did that with their kids, damn. Like if I seen like my cousin like put their kid up, like what do they be doing online with their kids? Like tell me what they be doing.
If their daughter if they found out, they looked at their daughter's phone, found out that their daughter having sex. They'll be like, oh, you out here fucking these little boys? Oh, you don't even wash your ass right. And da-da-da. And you still be musty sometimes, you little dirty bitch. You over here fucking these boys. I have literally seen that.
That's toxic as fuck.
Yeah, I have literally seen that.
That's bad parenting.
Now there's two different videos now.
I've also seen...
There's a whole... Because I've seen videos where the parent was actually giving the child an ass whooping, like, for me. And I feel like when I seen those videos, for me personally, it was like... A lot of kids, I feel like they don't get ass whooping. And seeing that, I'm like, for sure, I'm glad there's some parents out here that still whoop their kids, But then when you, on that type of shit, that's abuse then, man. That's different.
Verbal, yeah. That's all kind of like, it's definitely a way you gotta do it. Communication.
Because sometimes kids be doing shit online and shit, and it's like, alright, you want to act like that in front of your friends? Like, you feel me? You finna get this ass whooping in front of your friends. Now, if they steal your friends after this, then they can come over for dinner tomorrow.
They can get their ass beat too.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I just know a lot of times, like even with the stealing thing, you're broadcasting that your child's a thief, right? Mm-hmm. Say that was a one-time occurrence, and it was probably their money for all we know. Granny gave them $20 and you spent it.
Don't stop being
and now you mad.
We just saying an example.
I mean, I'm just saying that we.
I ain't never stole no money from
every
my
kid.
parents. I ain't stole no money from my parents. You fucked up. I ain't stolen no money from my parents, bro.
You stole some change.
Now you know what? What I did do is my mama give me money to go to the store, and I would come back and I hold the change. But I ain't never with my mama shit and took her shit. But I did hold the change. Like every nigga did that.
Damn.
You stole money.
I held the change.
Every kid.
Sure, give me a dub. Get a nigga the dub. Go give me some annihilators. Come back, nigga. Here you go. Where my change at? Shit.
You gonna keep the 1975?
I don't know. You stole money from your parents. Quit playing.
I'm saying I was young, nigga.
Exactly. Point.
But she knew I had it though. It ain't like she just like, oh, this. No, she knew it. Nigga, you kept my change.
That's some real nigga shit. Your mama gonna give you $20 from now later. You gonna keep 1975.
Hell yeah.
With a smooth face on top of that.
You gonna get her a burger and you keep the rest of her?
Damn. No, what I used to do, my great grandma used to give us money to go to Jack in the Box around the corner. She'll give us like a 20 piece. Smooth, sit over there and get the Jumbo Jack meal. She told us to get a cheeseburger. I'll be like,
you plugging yourself up.
She'd be like, oh, how much to change? Oh, $4.70.
You done got yourself something everybody else couldn't get.
Well, grandma,
she got a whole meal. Wait a minute.
She got fries. She said that slamming fries. Everybody else, trying to savor their cheeseburger.
You got hamburgers because grandma said cheese was at the house.
They thirsty as hell eating them cheeseburgers. Actually, she ain't even touched her cheeseburger.
No, that was their fault because grandma said it was cheese at the house when they stupid asses asked. So she gave them money for a hamburger. I didn't ask shit. I just bought it. Shit.
Yeah, I did. All right. Where we at?
I didn't say I wanted a hamburger.
No, but okay, back to what you said. The parenting. Like if the kid did so take the money and you took a picture saying hold this sign, he's like I stole $20 and boo, this is my punishment. I'm not against it. I didn't seen one nigga recorded his kid running laps around the front yard because he got a bad report card.
That's saucy.
Yeah, like I'm just like it depends on how you like what you described. That was verbal abuse and that was just bad on or off camera.
Because if they are on the social media and always on live and always doing this shit, then yeah, at a certain point it's like, all right, since you want everybody to see your business, let them see this shit.
So that's almost like when mamas used to come to the school and beat your ass.
Exactly.
All right, so
it also taught the rest of the kids like,
nigga mama don't. Yeah, she with that bullshit.
I don't know. My son, he one of the only ones that get in trouble, right? And his friends be noticing that. This is the second school where his friends have noticed. He the only one that get in trouble for the same shit.
I bet so they'll only certain niggas hang around him.
No, they'll go and tell on him. They'll be like, oh, he got in trouble today just because he know. And I'll be like, you know what, your friends, you might think it's funny or you might be looking at them like, bro, what are you doing? But you hanging around some snitches. If y'all ever did some shit later on in life, they gonna tell on you because they know that you gonna be the one that get caught.
Yeah.
I just they low key haters. My daughter even cited that one of them. I was talking to him one day because I had bought him a name chain that he asked for, and he stopped wearing the name piece, and now he only wears the gold chain. So I said, "Hey, I noticed you're not wearing it no more. What happened?" He was like, "Oh, no reason." And I was like, one of the little kids must have said something. She was like, "The little boy that be walking to the car every day."
What did he say?
Mind you, the little boy that walks to the car, he never says anything bad about my son. He always be like, "Oh, Khalil saw this dude up here," or he'll be like, "Oh, he gets hella girl. He be getting girls," or the teachers be hating on him. Like he don't say nothing negative, but for the fact that I talked to my son separately on our way to pick up my daughter, so she wasn't even in the car. 2 times I was like, "I don't like that little boy. He seemed like a hater. You need to watch out for him, right?"
Yeah, saying that type of shit.
Yeah, but just between he and I, on our way to pick up my daughter. So for her to say that shit and was like, the little boy that always be walking to the car, the times that I picked him up and she was in the car with me first, for her to pick up on that, I said, watch out for him.
What is
Know the vibes, you know the vibes, you know the vibes.
A 5-year-old telling you, watch out for the boy that be walking to the door, and the look that he had on his face when she said that shit, it was like, yeah, because mama told me.
You be spiritually in tune when you a baby still. You know the vibe.
She know.
And they can come up to your mama telling your mama that you be pulling bitches.
But 5-year-olds, why would she know that?
No, friend. I used to pick up my little nigga from like 1st, 2nd grade. All little people. Oh, Chelsea. I be like, my kid is the exact opposite of me in school. I was a loner. That nigga is charismatic. I love it.
My son is just like me. How I got around junior high. My elementary, I was seeing the good in everybody. I even had white friends, little white friends.
My son don't exist yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I ain't gonna lie. I can imagine AP as a parent. That's gonna be saucy though.
I can see him with a daughter.
Ooh, if you have a daughter, she gonna go crazy.
How the hell could you see me with the daughter?
I can definitely see you with a daughter.
How? I don't even see
I can definitely see you with a daughter. I can definitely see you doing her hair and like letting her paint her nails and stuff for her and stuff.
Hilarious.
Wait, no, what's wrong with that? It's hella dads that be doing that shit, painting their daughter's nails, and it's cute. Like
I don't know if I would. I probably tomboy the shit out of my daughter.
How the hell
you go outside with a football girl?
Like I can see you doing tea parties with her or letting her come to you and be like, "Daddy, I made you some tea." Because my daughter does that too with her dad. It's hella
I'll
cute.
sit down and have a little tea with my if I had a baby girl.
He sets up tea parties for them. Like it's cute.
That's cool. And at the same time, it is showing them how a man should be treating a female.
He sat there and made her a peanut butter sandwich.
It's a good thing to do that.
He sat there and made her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, put some little coloring books.
A lot of niggas be avoiding their daughters and shit like that, bro. That's why their daughters don't even know what type of nigga to go fuck with, bro.
Well, even with a present dad, that shit can happen too.
I mean, with the nigga in there, a lot of niggas really don't be gay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So shit.
My parents gamed me. My grandpa gamed me. Even growing up in the nation, sisters and the moms used to game me, and I was so gamed I thought I knew everything.
You still think you know everything?
I still no, but in those situations.
Right?
No, in those situations, like in these instances...
You know shit in fake scenarios.
Yeah, but... No, okay, but what I'm trying to say is I was so gamed up I thought I knew everything. So that'd be a problem too sometimes, because it'd be like, wait, hold up, I know what you finna do, and then they do something, like one little piece that's a little opposite, you like, oh, okay, maybe I was wrong about you. Nope. So now, who I am now, I'm going back to what I was taught. Because, no.
But that's crazy, just how, the government is so involved with how niggas shit. I mean, I guess, because some parents do take it too far. So I guess I do see why people gotta intervene.
It's kind of
sometimes
ridiculous.
They do. Have you ever read A Child Called It?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
That book gonna hurt you.
It was a series.
You got kids? That book gonna fuck.
I got kids.
It was a series of books. I read that in junior high.
I never had
I read that shit in middle school too?
Yeah, it's sad. It's very sad.
That shit gonna hurt you. That shit, boy.
It was about a little boy who was adopted by a family.
Ooh, my Lord.
They started mistreating him, and a lot of the stuff they were doing.
How is that such a common thing in the adoption system?
And then the thing is, okay, so you're collecting a check. You don't necessarily like the kid, okay. But what they're the kid, bro. But even that's trash. But I'm just trying to keep it simple. Like, okay, you don't like the kid, but to sit there and go, I'm gonna make you eat bleach for lunch, so you can be sick.
Set him in the room.
Up in the basement
with bleach and pneumonia.
Did they make a movie out of this?
I think so.
They made a movie out of this?
I think on Lifetime.
I gotta see the
I
movie.
fed this nigga scraps.
No, I think it was The Children in the Attic was a movie.
The Children in the Attic was ridiculous.
Yeah,
that was something. That was wild.
That was so sad.
That was wild.
Yeah,
they
were
Children in the Attic.
They would starve him and all types of stuff.
And this was just in San Francisco.
How is that so common though? How are these people not being thoroughly screened to where they getting the access to these kids?
And the thing is, how do you thoroughly access? Like,
how do you thoroughly
They send people up there to go look at it, you feel me, and analyze it, like, you feel me. Niggas always throw facade.
That's a good question. How do you thoroughly analyze somebody who wants to be a parent?
You gotta actually keep watching them.
You know what? I think what they need to do is like a test that's similar to testing for a narcissist.
What?
Like, no, for real, because like a narcissist and a sociopath, they're incurable or whatever, right? But then there are still ways to determine if they are. Like there are certain questions. I think if they ask them stuff like that, at least not. Do you love kids? Are you married? Like checking the little normal boxes. Do you got a home? Do you got extra rooms? No. Oh, see if you've ever been on drugs.
People
nah.
with clean criminal history.
Yeah, I think they need to check and check to see if they're like if they have the potential to be like a sociopath or a narcissist. Probably don't at least adopt to them. That might start it might start there.
It's gotta be sick.
Because those type of people are able to. They're sick behind closed doors, but in person they're a completely different thing.
Because it gotta be at least like a 2-3 year process to really make sure these motherfuckers. They're like, cause I think really it's what's like about 6 months to a year once you like go from the beginning of like signing up to getting your kid.
I don't know, but I know some people get children emergency.
Yeah.
Emergency adoption, but I know some people it's damn near impossible for them to adopt.
And I'm only because that shit is common, way more common. That shit is common. Motherfuckers always got some fucked up stories about their adopted ass parents and shit, and it's just like, man, how are they getting away with this shit? Death penalty.
I think it's so many
gotta
kids.
Die. That's the only thing I can think of. You gotta kill him. You gotta kill him on first offense. That's the only thing I can think of. You gotta kill them
if they do it to their own kid too.
So, but more than likely, foster parents don't do to their own kids what they be doing to these kids, bro.
I don't know.
So I'm like, bro, you
gotta down by the lake.
You gotta kill them. That's the
that
only
lady
thing.
down by the lake. She took her kids down by the lake, you know.
I forget.
Yeah, she took her kids on a field trip down by the lake and they never came back.
God damn.
Shit, Casey Anthony sat there and took her child to the babysitter for a month, and allegedly, babysitter was gonna bring the baby back by her birthday. And mom allegedly didn't know where her child was. Turned out that she killed her own daughter, but was going around telling everybody the babysitter got my baby for her.
That's not funny, but the fact
and then took her family to a fake job. Never even worked in place. Like,
what?
But she's the
she was trying to pull it off.
Wait, did she kill her kids to be with a dude? Is that what happened?
Casey Anthony, I think so. It was. So
because that's the only reason I can think of a bitch like doing.
She was on her WandaVision hype.
God damn.
So that's why I'm like, it's got to be something that. But then, like, people probably need to even regulate people that's just having kids. But how do you monitor so many people are having kids? You know, like. So many people are having kids.
Death. Kill them.
Death at the state.
Kill them.
They can't.
Off with their head.
It's more. It's probably more kids than field agents.
You got to. That's population control for your ass. I'm telling you.
Off with their head.
I mean, it's.
I'm down for it.
It's
I
way
think
more.
you shouldn't even have kids beyond a certain IQ level. Like if your IQ is below a certain level, it should be illegal to have kids. Bro, I really think that, bro. Don't ever let me rule any land, nigga. Let your IQ be below, nigga, 125 or some shit.
I mean,
bro.
in what category?
Kids,
Wait, no,
in what category?
But there's parents with like.
I'm gonna create a different IQ test. It's not gonna be the standard IQ. It's gonna
you gonna create the IQ.
It's gonna be a whole. I'm gonna get a team in there.
And I'm a dictator.
Bro, and we gonna determine. Wait, hold on. What was your test scores? She pregnant? So nigga, you obviously you knew the risk, so you gotta die, nigga. She didn't pregnant herself.
No.
You gotta die, bro. You gotta die.
Damn it.
You gotta die.
I mean, I'm all for offing it, but you know.
Oh, and I'm the dictator. Do you guys hear this?
We gotta at least like.
Do you guys hear this? I'm no longer the dictator.
You're no longer the dictator?
I'm not. Y'all be saying I'm the dictator or the people that's always off with their head. Y'all definitely just off with your head. No, people with development tools.
I said I couldn't be no ruler or nothing because I would like just take niggas' head off.
I could be a ruler because
I would probably like have a room full of.
I wouldn't have the same morals like nigga. I would be open with that shit, nigga. Y'all ass is getting executed, bro.
Damn.
Don't do this shit, bro.
So the revamp is full of dictators, basically.
No, fuck that. Nigga, this saving the world. Dude, fuck that. Nigga, straight up.
Just 3 different styles. But
fam, you got a whole fam, you got somebody on the street, right?
Imagine if we did. I'm sorry. Imagine if we did all have our own. Like,
what if we were like a council? What if we all 3 of us was a council for a fucking tribe? There'd be so many dead niggas. That's fucked up.
That'd be saucy.
I'm gonna be like, what? You talking about Missy Head can come to the cook? Off with his head.
Bruh, we all have
so you gonna be like,
own...
oh, spell cat.
That's fucked up.
You know, the craziest part about it is Siege would have all the rejects. Everybody that run from us, they would go to Siege.
Nah, because then his metric is gonna be if you can separate all the cooking utensils by size and material. If you can't do that you gotta go.
A bunch of dishwashers in his truck.
You for sure.
You're gonna be building amusement parks for the end of your days.
Bruh, that shit, man.
And if you can't have telekinesis, you're not making it very long.
Ooh, going to war with y'all would be crazy.
No, because we're all gonna be on the same council. We can't trust each other. It's too much off with your head.
For real?
This nigga said
I squeeze the trigger. No, fuck all that. Gotta watch these niggas.
We damn near plotting on each other.
I'm like, he let him go too easy.
We long term plotting. We grouping up with each other on the side plotting.
Be like this. Shit. What you just? Nah, that ain't right.
Did you see that episode where they all turned to? Oh, they saw away Sunny, bro. When the niggas came through with the shotgun.
No.
The niggas all turned against each other, bro. That shit was hella funny.
No, I remember the episode on Martin when he thought that they stole his Walkman and it was actually Grumman, and he redid New Jack City with the fake dog. And they all was low key kind of turning on each other because it was like, nah, it was him. It was him. Yeah, that was funny.
That's hilarious.
Anyways, what else would you like to get into today? Action.
Oh wait, because that one kind of had like a few instances in my mind, but because it was more so like, okay, the public humiliation, but y'all answered one of my other questions, like, is there different like ways that it would be okay? So it's that. But then I'm like, what's too far? Like, is it the verbal abuse? Is it the crying? Some people's, everything's a trigger for them. And then, like, is your triggers any more worse than the other person's? Like, what determines it as good parenting and just you doing too much?
Parenting tears is genuine. You fake tears.
Yeah, but some kids cry just because you yelled at them.
You give a fuck, you better tough it.
But some people feel like you shouldn't have to yell at a kid. Like my grandpa, for instance, he had saw me yell at my son when he was a kid.
My mama used to say, I shouldn't have to tell you this too many times.
And some people say...
I shouldn't have to repeat my... Well, I shouldn't have to be whooping on kids. Well, sometimes you do.
Sometimes.
My son, he'll sit there like now, because I know I don't whoop. Like I can count how many times I've whooped him. And it was usually because he did major offenses, like
you got a good kid.
Yeah, like but
until he on that game,
yeah.
Right?
Well, no. See, and that was one of my next questions. Would you allow your kid to like curse or do certain things because either A, all the other kids are doing it, so you want to give them that freedom, or like when is all the other kids doing it too much? And I've had this conversation with other parents.
Don't never do nothing because of other kids.
Yeah, for me personally, the other man, look, man, fuck all that shit.
If you come tell me, oh, I want this, all the other kids got it, good, so you don't need it.
I made the mistake of allowing my kid not to cuss, but I said you can say nigga, and I'm regretting that because now it's just too much. And like
right?
You say it too much.
Don't give them.
And now I'm like no.
Does he say it to you or amongst?
No, not to me. Not hell. No, you can't. No, don't call me nigga. You say it to your peers.
But he just says it like.
But he be understand. I got you, nigga. You trash, nigga. I'm like, but. That's too much. There's too many niggas now.
You're abusing.
Yeah, you're abusing.
So, isn't that also a thing too, to give your child the freedom to express themselves and then to take it away? Some people might have an issue with that.
I don't give a fuck what some people have when it comes to my kid. I'm just only speaking for my kids. So if I say, hey, okay, I allowed you to do this, but now I see that was a bad decision on my part, that's just what it is, nigga.
It's a bad,
That's it.
So even though he didn't violate the permission you gave him, you're now reestablishing a new boundary. So are you going to reestablish the boundary, or are you just going to take away the rights even though he never violated it?
No. I made a decision that was not well thought out. So I held myself responsible. I didn't say you did something wrong. Mm-hmm. I said, I realize now this was a bad decision on my part to allow you to do that. So now I'm saying I don't want you to do that.
Did you? And you even informed him of that?
Huh?
You even informed him that it was a bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, okay. That's a lot.
For
sure.
For me personally, I feel like you do that shit with your friends when I don't hear it.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
As soon as I hear that shit, it's an issue.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
I don't want to hear it.
So my son, when he, I think, what was that, 2 school years ago? Him and all his friends was having this thing where they would cuss a lot of times at school. It was like a free thing for them. Especially, you know, with him being the one that gets in trouble all the time, his mom be on his ass. It was, I guess, a freedom thing for him. Right. So when I noticed it, I told him, you can do it with your peers on the video game. You can't cuss with me. You can't cuss at me. You can't do it at all with other elders because they didn't give you that agreement. So that's an agreement so far he has not breached. So there are times where I'm on the phone and someone, he might be helping because, you know, they rage on the game. So they'll hear, fuck! Hella loud. And they'll be like, oh my God, was that Khalil? And I'll be like, yeah, I let him cuss with his friends. I have had some people that were so offended that they're, oh, I'm going to have to get off the phone. Or, and I'm like, okay, you don't think your kid cusses? And then they'll go, well, I would never allow that. I have heard your child cuss.
Damn.
I'm just trying to understand. I also have access to my son's social media because at one point we were going through a situation where he was not talking to me. And I don't want to get too deep into our family shit, but after talking to him and seeing the frustration and the hurt and some of the emotional things he was going through, anyway,
you ain't abusing him or nothing.
No. But it was bigger than just him wanting to express himself, you know. So that was a conscious decision by talking to my son to get him to be more comfortable talking to me again. I felt like that was a harmless compromise. But for some people, they're like, he ain't your friend. You don't do this. He knows he's not my friend. Like, no matter which, that's why he can't cuss with me.
Right.
So he's aware we are not friends. That we don't share no bills. We don't do nothing other than you be cussing, but you gotta calm that shit down. Now, if it gets to the point where it's just, I'm telling you to shut up and you're still, and you can't shut up, now you're gonna lose that privilege. But so far, I haven't had that. If I go, you doing too much, he'll calm down. But sometimes he be so in it that he ain't even tripping off the fact that I'm walking past or like I'm in his space. Like that's how I had to explain it to some of my people. Like I'm giving him the space to do something, and then I'm going to invade his space and then get mad at how I allowed him to utilize his time. Right. That's how I'm looking at it. I don't think that
if he in his room, you from doing his thing, then he
goes. So I done walked in his shit and I'm talking, and then since I'm in here, it's not like he's sitting with me and my friends, and he like motherfucking pussy bitch. Like he's not doing that.
Right. For me, yeah. That's
like I feel like that was a compromise between me and my son that does not hurt anybody else. You're going off of some shit that you were raised to do, and you be cussing around your mama, and you grown. You do shit that your mama didn't tell you to do. All type of shit. I bet you was sneaking people in your mama's house. I never did that as a child. So it's just kind of like, for me, we all got different ways of parenting. We all got different reasons for why we do certain stuff. I had to come to that compromise to be able to reach out to my child in a certain kind of way. I have access to his social media. There's a lot of parents that don't even know their child got a social media. So there was a time where even when there was an instance of bullying at my son's school, and I had to go through the messages. My son ain't got shit to do with this. I'm screenshotting hella shit. This ain't got shit to do with my son. This little kid's going around fucking. Y'all go deal with that. They meeting people around the corner. Maybe their mama need to pick them up. This is how it all started. Because this little girl was caught sucking dick at a party, and some people was in the group chat talking hella shit that wasn't even a part of the school. Because some of these kids was fucking. So that's my whole thing. There are parents that's going, not my child, and their child is doing a whole bunch of worse shit than my son calling your son a pussy bitch ass nigga. Okay? That's how I be feeling. Like, so it's like, we all got our own little shit. public discipline, I think depending on the damage that's being done, it could make sense to humiliate your child, like what y'all said. If your child is always online, they twerking, they doing certain shit online. If you catch them in a moment, I've seen some parents that's caught their child in a moment, underdressed, they in their bra, twerking and shit. Daddy walk in and just beat your ass.
Yep, you
I understand that.
Yes, you get
that. Yeah, because you showing out in front of these people. Let them know that she got a father that don't play about her. So don't inbox her, don't do none of that shit, because all this shit getting shut down tonight.
All of this shit down.
But there's also parents that's, after the fact, you don't let them go 8 months, you find out that your 16-year-old daughter is fucking a 38-year-old man, she been getting money from him, he talking about getting her pregnant, you mad. So now you want to humiliate your daughter. You're telling everybody, so you're telling more predators now that your daughter is sexually active, that she will mess with an older man.
Put that out on.
Those are the things for me. But it's also someone that's probably looking, let her parent her child how she want to parent her. But to me, I'm looking at you broadcasting your child to other predators. Or you just going to be mad and then she's back on the phone again tomorrow. So it's just kind of like, to me, I'm like, what is the proper way? Or are you indicating that you don't watch your child? Because in those instances, how is your child doing shit for that long and you didn't know?
Yeah, I would say it just depends on what it is. Like just like stealing or just being disrespectful, or like you said, walking in, catching them doing something online. But I don't know, like verbal abuse or exposing their business like that. That's some other shit.
Y'all know they're trying to come out with an Instagram for kids?
That's gross.
I think that might be best though. Kids should be able to have some space to talk to each other, but it still should have some type of shadow.
Oh, I'm proud.
No. Like, but that's where the world is moving to. Because even when we were kids in the 90s, I had a computer class. Then we learned how to use the World Wide Web and all that stuff. So,
but not code. They didn't teach us how to do that though.
They taught me that in the 90s, but I also was not in OUSD, so I don't know if that made a difference. But
fuck you, actually.
Fuck
you.
Trying to be humble about you.
Right.
No, I don't. I don't know if that makes a difference.
That makes a huge difference. Fuck you, actually.
Hey, I'm a part of the
I'll say this.
community.
I don't give a fuck what these kids is trending and doing. Nigga, my son know around me what he can and can't do. My mom, she did allow me to cuss when I used to do music. I could cuss in my music.
See?
So with that, I think she gave that, instilled that into me to where Joseph writes a song and he said a cuss word, I would let it slide. But not even on the game.
Listen to my song if we got
not even on the game. I'm like, no, bro. If he called you something, bro, you just gotta be more creative with your comeback. Cause if I hear you say bitch, fuck, shit, nigga, I'm about to pop your ass, bro. That's just what it's gonna be. And he know that. Like, they know, watch that shit, bro. You be more smart. Outsmart him, bro. Straight up.
I be here, to me, I just be feeling like everybody got their reasons for why they do something. I feel like, I be reading a lot of kids' messages, and I'll be like, yo, kids don't do what? They don't, because there's times where I'm sitting right by my son, and every kid on that group chat is cussing.
Yeah.
But I do feel like I had this conversation with a friend of mine whose child is older, so they're now in the experimental stage. So it's like trying this, trying that, and it's like, where is the break off of everyone's doing it? Because that's also still a thing with me too. With that everyone's cussing thing, I wouldn't want that same logic for everybody smoking or everybody's drinking. So it's like, that's off limits for me. Now, I'm trying to be able to understand where you're coming from. Cussing, all that stuff is a form of expression. So I feel like to help me better communicate with you, or for you to have some level of like, okay, she understands me. All right. But I don't need to understand you by allowing you to smoke, fuck in my house, drink, be out all night, none of that stuff. We don't have to understand each other.
You are to raise and guide him throughout life.
Well, no, I disagree with that. I do need to understand. I do need to understand you, and you do need to feel understood. So there's times where there's things that you might go through that. I mean, he might go through that. I won't understand. So what I'll tell him is, I've never experienced it, but I can get you around some men that's experienced it, or maybe you can run it past them. Do you feel comfortable with me telling them X, Y, and Z? And if he say no, or oh, it's okay, I ain't tripping, then I'll respect it. Because if you don't feel understood with me, then you're gonna try to be understood by some haters or some weird ass niggas, or you start acting out. I feel like you should feel understood at home if you don't feel understood anywhere else.
For sure.
Last thing I need is for him to feel he needs to bond.
I get what he's saying though. Honestly, I know he didn't mean that literally, but I get what you said. That was just funny. It's funny. But no, you don't have to try to compromise. You don't have to. If you do, kudos. But you don't have to do that. I think a lot of new parents forget that. Like, nigga, you do not have to do that shit. That is your child. Nigga, understand hierarchy. You better understand the rank and fucking file. Nigga, you are my seed. Nigga, I will murder you.
I feel like they ain't saying that to their kids no more.
Nigga, I will kill you, bro. For real.
I remember when my parents, bro, it was like, oh.
I will take your head off.
Then when you think about it, I brought you into this world.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's not necessarily a compromise in my mind. Like, there's things that I wish I would have been able to talk to my parents about. But since I was always told, I can take you out. I brought you here. I can take you out. Nah, you're a kid. You don't have these problems. But I was going through things. I was experiencing problems. I did have problems. So if I can't come to you and I feel like I got to deal with it myself and I don't have all of the answers, who do I go to? I'm now going to other kids that don't have all the answers.
Sure.
So for me, I feel like if that's a compromise for a child to feel like they can come to me and I can understand them in their rawest form, then I'm okay with having that compromise. Because at one point, he was going through something that he felt he couldn't come to me for. And I didn't know how deep it was. So I don't want that to ever happen again, especially with the older he gets. I need him to know that he can come to me.
And if it worked for y'all, ain't nobody else can judge it. And it don't even matter. It don't even matter if niggas did judge it. If that's what's working, that's all that fucking matter.
Oh yeah, I have for sure gotten judgment. It also turned into that's why black people aren't dating y'all.
What the fuck? Yeah, who are you talking to, actually?
It was actually a friend. I didn't know that he had the right to date me in the first place. I was a little confused.
He?
Yeah, it was a male friend, and he heard my son cussing, and it turned into I was going to talk to you. In order for you to talk to me, I should have, what? Like, I can't even put words to that. Who told you I was going to talk to you? Like, I missed out on the opportunity with this nigga, and I didn't even know I wanted it. I didn't know I wanted the opportunity. I was confused.
I mean, I would, no bullshit, though. Not even no funny shit. I would definitely hope for the explanation. Like, if I was single, right? If I was single sin and I walked into like a female house and this is my first time kicking it with this female and her kid just walked past me, what's up, nigga? Woo, woo, woo. Nigga, I'm about to go get some cookies and shit.
You about to go do what, little nigga?
Now. Or no, let me rephrase. Let me kind of spin it a little bit. If I walk up in there and I hear this nigga in his room, fuck you, bitch ass nigga, I just lit your motherfucking ass up, woo, woo, woo. I'm gonna look at the mom, right? I'm gonna look at the mom like, I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you? Now, if she don't have, like you said, you have a whole breakdown. Now, if she just like,
Well, that's the thing. I ended up giving him the breakdown after that, and he was like, well, you should have told me that. First of all, bitch ass nigga. I'm in my house. My son is in his fucking house, minding his motherfucking business. You tuned in to what the fuck this little boy is talking about. You tuned in to him.
Okay.
Bitch ass nigga. I'm not even first of all, and then on top of that, it came with him comparing our children. So he was doing some side shit first before even coming out and saying, I didn't feel comfortable with your child cussing in the background and I heard it and you didn't correct him. I said, first of all, any corrections that need to be made doesn't necessarily have to happen with you on the phone. My thing is, I continue to talk. I don't need to correct you don't have to hear me discipline my child at all. you're not even my man. You don't live here. You're not an elder that's in the present house being disrespected. No, that does not go down. Like, if my mom and dad was in the room, they don't hear him cuss. No one has heard him cuss unless they're on the phone and he might be hella loud. But they're like for instance, he's never been with my mom or my grandma, and they go, girl, you know, he was cussing last night, because he knows he can't do it. He's not in his home. He's not in his space. He's with other elders that did not give him this agreement to do so. That was explained explicitly.
Some things that would jump into in my scenario, I'm saying in my scenario, like if I just walked into somebody's house and I experienced that, I would say the thing that would jump in my head is, well, is he like this with his mom? And then, see, that's why I was like, I wouldn't know. Like, I probably wouldn't come out and be like, oh, I'm out. That's why I was like, I would try to make some type of unspoken understanding first, like make sure we both heard it. Because if she can be like, hey, I let him do that, that's how he expressed himself on the game. All right, for sure.
Question.
Well, that's the
thing.
In
that scenario, are you looking for a long-term relationship with this woman, or did you just meet her like?
Well, I think either one it would matter.
I mean, that depends. If you're just trying to fuck, then you're just.
9 times out of 10, if I'm at a female house and the kid is still awake, then there's probably somebody I've probably been talking to. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If I'm at her house and the kid is asleep, that's a different thing. But if I'm over there and the kid is up, you know what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is I would definitely try to understand that first before I make an assumption. So if you law, he do that. But then, like, if I don't get nothing, then like I said, well, damn, do we do this for her? Yeah. Is he gonna be like this? Like, I hope this little nigga don't be like this for me. Hold on. So that's why I can see why somebody could kind of like look at it a certain way without an explanation. It's like you start thinking like, okay, well, this nigga might have anger issues.
Right.
This you don't know what kind of little nigga is trying to do it.
I think that's a valid assessment. I feel like it is granted a conversation. If we are planning to date. With this young gentleman, I don't know where he got that from. He wasn't in my house either. He was on the phone. So you tuned in to something in my background.
Not minding his own business.
Yeah, he's not minding his motherfucking business. I also looked at the fact that he went straight into comparing our children. That was a problem for me, because since we're talking about what you would have did if we were dating, don't pit kids together against each other. Because for one, my child is always at or above grade level. You told me a while back your child was struggling. Now, would I have been wrong to compare our children academically and basically hint that your child is slow?
We was trying to compare behavior?
Yeah, he was like, oh, I'm so glad my daughter is good. And he said it more than once. The first time I was like, it was random. And then, because we weren't even talking about anything about kids. And then he started talking, and then I caught on to it. And I was like, oh, he doesn't talk about my baby's kids. And I was just joking, like, and he just went into, well, black women baby their sons, and that's the reason why single mother, you guys are single mothers, and da-da-da. And I'm like,
wow.
And if I
thought you gave that nigga the all-purpose prize.
Yeah, and he was like, you guys, y'all don't listen to y'all men, and you gotta learn how to submit, and that's the reason why your sons and y'all. And I was like, whoa, Hotep overload, because I don't even know where did this even come from.
You took all this on?
That was hella random. That was like,
and you took all this on?
That nigga lit her ass up with that shit.
And the thing is, it seemed like he, to me, was low-key projecting, because I had brought up after that, like, sir, you don't even have your daughter all the time. So when she see you, of course she on best behavior. What are you talking about? But I know for sure.
Why am I even on the phone with all of this?
Well, for me, it seemed like he was he was very sensitive about this thing. I was now trying to be his therapist. I was trying to figure out what the fuck is your problem. Like, why is this?
High hopes for you.
Yeah, like why?
That nigga was hurt.
I was trying to understand why was this such a thing for him. Like,
that nigga already planned y'all future together. That he did, and then that he was like, oh.
Yeah, and that sucks. Like, bro, you would have been disappointed no matter if it was my child or if it was Christmas Day. The answer would have always been no.
Niggas would rather look good and lose.
Yeah, because I was so confused. Like, I was so confused. And then after I said, okay, as a young, because he was like, y'all need to listen to y'all men and da da da. I said, okay. So as my friend, you see that I am not steering my son in a direction that is desirable for a young black man to be, right? As a black man who was once a young black man, what do you suggest that I do to correct behavior? Because I end up telling him why we got to where we were, like this understanding with me and my son. So I'm not going to share it on here.
So now you're exposing more of your business for no reason, really.
Yeah, because now I'm like, because he just was super, like, it triggered him.
You're expressing stuff that you don't really need to.
Yeah, I didn't. But I feel like in the sake of communication and also trying to understand why this black man was so hurt or bothered or triggered by this, it seemed like he needed to be heard. So I ended up just telling him, like, hey, this is what happened. This is where we got from here. So if you can suggest something better that I should be doing to reach my son, let me know. And he just was like, because you don't know either. So since you don't know either, leave me alone. You can't even penetrate the daughter you have and penetrate through why she doesn't, let me use a different word, but he can't even reach his daughter. Like when she's around, he says she don't even want to be around him. They have a strained relationship. So it was
the
just
same daughter that he said
that was good, yeah.
Like they failing in school.
Exactly, but they have a strained relationship. So he usually takes her shopping and he tries to reach her that way. So he brings up, oh well, when she started her period, I asked her aunties and them, and da da da. I said, okay, but the difference between me and you, you're forcing or you're offering an opinion I didn't ask for. Yeah, because y'all don't want to know. I said, right, but you actually solicited someone for solicit. I would never solicit my daughter. Like it turned into a whole thing. And I said, sir, solicit has nothing. Like it for us. I think the conversation was needed because I think he was dealing with his own shit.
That's what that more so sound like.
Yeah, and I was
personal shit.
Yeah, and it was this thing like for me after I told him why I was doing like I decided to reach my son this way or to or give him that space of expression. He said, "Well, you should have told me that from the beginning." So I should tell you. You should have told him that. You didn't have to have no conversation. Well, okay, so it's not like I gave him my son's deep dark secrets or none of that shit. But what I did say was, based on this situation, we weren't communicating a lot. So I felt like this was a compromise. Or not necessarily a compromise, but an agreement for him to feel more open talking to me or for him to whatever. And then that's when he was like, well, you should have just said that. I didn't know that I needed to.
You were very patient with that.
Yeah, because I felt like as a black, when he dumped all that shit, I knew that it was bigger than my son cussing. So I just figured, let's talk. Fuck it. I'm washing dishes.
Shut up, washing dishes.
No, because for him to even assume he's giving us
time to kill. Fuck
yeah,
you got till I finish drying these dishes. Man.
No, but seriously, for him to assume that because I'm a single mother, he was giving me a chance. I didn't even know I was being courted at the moment. Like I was. That alone, I needed to understand where he was coming from.
Because you was just in need, actually.
Because I'm a single mom.
You're a single mother. You are so in need.
And on top of that, for him to assume that I was a single mom. Like,
he gotta save you, actually.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so that's why I figured, like, let me talk to him to get where he was coming from. Because also it's a concern for you to think that you were dating me. Like, no, for real. Because that could be something else. That could be me and him get into it, or he perceives that I'm being disrespectful and he just pops up in my house. Anyway. So I wanted to get where he was coming from, period. Because, like, that was somebody that I considered a friend, if not anything else. Or at least developing a friendship. So I was confused.
You were something for sure.
Yeah, I was confused as to why he...
It was definitely some him issues.
He
had mama issues.
He went into black women not being wanted and we give y'all a chance and you're a single mother. You're a nigga with a baby.
You a nigga with a baby.
They don't even fuck with you. They don't even fuck with you. Like, my son fucks with me, bitch. What are you talking about? Like, my son fucks with me. So
your daughter don't even like you.
Huh?
And at the end of the day, that's all that. That's all that motherfucking.
At the end of the day,
like, you're trying to tell me how to reach my son. Yeah. I know why I came to this arrangement. It was because I had to swallow my pride. and talk to my son and ask him, hey, what's really happening? What's going on?
They can't tell you nothing about your kids.
Yeah, you can. So if I wouldn't have had that conversation with my son and swallowed my "you're not my friend" pride, kids don't have no problems pride, I wouldn't have found out nothing, and I would have still been sitting over there like trying to figure out why he don't like why he's responding like oh.
Actionella DeVille.
What?
That's what you look like.
Damn.
Hey, who let this nigga in, bro? This nigga was not supposed to come.
What's up with bro?
What's going on?
Oh shit, that's Cyber John. This Cyber John, man. What's cracking?
Hey, who let this nigga in?
Got a luxurious beard.
Oh, thanks, man.
Ask him why you let this nigga in.
People said I look like James Harden twice this week.
Oh my god.
So I don't know what's going on.
Ask him why you let this nigga in.
Oh shit.
Look who's in the building, y'all. Look who decided to show up.
Nobody
Ask
major.
him why you let this nigga
Hi.
in.
How y'all doing?
Guess who's back in the house?
I go by C.
Why you let this nigga in, actually?
I don't know. I'm going to In-N-Out Burger after this.
Now, if a nigga showed up to your job, would this be a write-up? Would you tell him to go back home?
Bro, he go back home, bro. He didn't call in, bro.
He didn't call in, though.
He
did call in.
He called in?
I tap in with my people, bruh.
How early did he call in?
At
least 3 hours ahead
He
of
told
time?
me he was going to be here at 8, though. That's what he told me.
At 8?
You said at 8. You said I was going to get here around 8.
You know, there's a lot of jises out here, bro. There's this jises, there's at jises, you know. I want to give you one of the Apollo's kinds. So
I feel you, family. I love
take
that.
that.
If you say he called in, this whatever.
He did.
He did. If he didn't call in,
If you was at Tesla, nigga, you be fine.
but bro, what? Get rid of this nigga,
I
bro.
was doing executive moves. Shout out my cousin Taliban Tiger and my cousin Cyber John. Executive moves.
That sound like a collab right there. So.
Damn.
That would be saucy.
And then he coming in with friends smoking and shit.
You hear me? I'm sorry. You can show Frank.
What's up? Since you had more things you wanted to drop on us.
Grinding Kitchen coming soon. Revamp podcast skits coming soon. May 16th, I'm dropping an album, Just Enough. It's a little EP. It's not too much, it's just enough. You know, if you ain't got no music for me about a minute, I'll give you just enough. You know, until I give you some more.
We need that EP before the year over.
Also, I want to talk about my stand-up. I'm finna start getting back into stand-up. My nigga Ahmed is going back to Lebanon. Is it no, Sudan. He's going back to Sudan. I'm sorry, excuse me, Sudan. He want me to take his stand-up mantle for him. I'm like, bro, I gotta practice in some, you know, Zoom classes first, bro, because I ain't doing no stand-up in like 4 years. So,
you know, people tell me I should do stand-up, and I'm trying to figure out why.
You too lazy. You like sitting down.
You're hilariously honest.
She is not funny at all. She is not funny at all. I would not watch that special.
Nigga, you be laughing at me.
I would not watch that special.
Nigga, you be laughing at me.
We was just laughing at the
That's
bitch.
what I'm saying. She come on the stage.
He don't never want to give me my nothing.
Bro, she come on the stage. Y'all niggas better laugh at me.
Period.
No lie. Oh God, bro. Earlier today, she posted a selfie and got hella mad. She got 2 likes. She was like, "This is bullshit."
Y'all know good
page got haters on.
Y'all know good the revamp profile be having haters in a motherfucker. They be like, "Oh, action on there."
But you said,
why is there a girl on the revamp?
Right?
It was only supposed to be guys.
But who said
she's invading our guys?
You told me we was the sex symbols of the revamp.
Yeah, but they still hate me though. It's weird. Like even some of the followers. Shout out to the followers that don't. Shout out to the followers that follow the revamp because they don't like me, but they like me in the same token. So they want to hear what the fuck I gotta say, but they never want to hear it in my face.
You feel me?
Ever.
The fuck wrong
Shout out to y'all. Cause it's a bunch of you bitches.
It's a bunch of you bitches.
For real. It's a bunch of them. It's people that I work with every day that would not talk to me.
Oh, okay.
Please edit this part, and I mean, and keep it. No, not edit it. No, not edit it and remove it, but we need it kept. I need this as its own separate part. Shout out to me every day that didn't necessarily like me.
Yeah.
Shout out to you,
but
hoes.
refuse to follow me, but will follow everything I fucking do. All by proxy shit is followed. Shout out to you, okay? Shout out to the bitches that is trying to see if I'm still dating my baby daddy. Shout out to you. Shout out to the bitches that got this weird obsession with me just because I am me. Shout out to you.
Shout
and
out
thank
to
you
you
for
hoes
viewing
that
the motherfucking revamp, okay? There are people that know my friend that will tell my friend that they watch the podcast but won't follow the revamp. Shout out to you, okay?
Crazy.
They'll be like, oh, I watched your friend podcast, but won't follow a bitch.
Hey, if you watch the podcast, we want to thank
shout
you for
out to
watching
you.
the podcast.
I don't know how to
Shout out to you. Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I want to say.
Shout out.
If you watching it, I appreciate it.
What did the Jackson 5 say?
I want to say you're welcome because you ain't gonna never admit that you just now started your podcast and you was watching our podcast. So I want to say you're welcome. You feel me? Because who else inspired that?
Thank you.
These guys right here.
Do you know how many people started doing podcasts on her show that would not follow my profile, and then they started asking me to join theirs instead?
I just want everybody who continue watching the Revamp Podcast to continue watching it. We appreciate your support. It's real support. We really appreciate it. Genuinely. Right? I'm like, bro, thank you. Thank you. I don't care what you do afterwards. Thank you for viewing us.
No, I do care.
I don't care.
No,
Thank
I
you.
care. I care.
Continue coming back to view us.
Because the views don't mean shit if they're not going to follow a bitch.
Straight
follow the Revamp Headquarters profile.
Because it's so hard.
Follow it. How hard is it? Follow the Revamp. Like, subscribe, share on motherfucking YouTube. So that's the reason why I care. If you're going to watch it, like it and follow. Share it. Comment. Okay? Quote your favorite part, bitch.
I can't disagree with that at all.
That's what all I'm talking about.
Don't tell us you like our podcast and not.
No, but they're not telling us. They're telling somebody else. Oh yeah, that dude seed is funny, but you won't follow the Revamp profile.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Hey, bro, I be watching your podcast. Really, bro? What's it called?
Because you're watching it.
When the last time you watched it?
The Revamp Podcast.
So, any other time, we do things for you guys. But today, this is the anti-thank you, and I will continue to give it. As long as it's still rolling, I will give an anti-thank you, because at the end of the day, you won't like, subscribe, share, or follow. Something's up with that. Something is up. So shout out to you guys.
At this point, are we anti everything?
Yeah. Come on.
No, I don't even start SOPRZ. But
I'm anti.
She antique.
And I'm just calling out.
I can't wait till the Pop-Up Girls show come out. So
and tight.
I just don't understand.
The CW.
She and tight.
I think it's cute.
I told you
but I don't
understand. Professor X.
Like, so those is probably like, so it wasn't the fact that I wasn't getting, because on my own profile, yeah, I'm getting love, you feel me? But so it's not even about that. I just thought it was funny because some of the same people that's on my shit went on to the other side.
Shout out Shatavia. Shout out Shatavia. She's a Revamp thoroughbred. Shout out E4. She's a.
All right, but let's keep moving forward with the show though. We just did some other shit.
Mm-hmm.
So now, you got any more things you want to say?
No, I think she got all that. You got all that?
What?
What'd you come to the show to talk about, C?
It's in the group chat, ain't it?
Fam, come on, bro.
Like, why is there a girl on the Revamp? If she can get on it, I can get on it. She's killing the show.
She said, when is proving your point? What?
Weird ass. It be the same people saying that shit that won't even repost. Never reposted. Not once.
What I say?
Not once. I was doing that shit before I even joined.
What is proving your point important to you?
Oh, it's very important because I'll be right.
It don't be that serious sometimes.
It's not serious.
You gonna get down to your point no matter what I do.
Yeah. Because even when I'm wrong, I'm right.
They say, a wise man said, never argue with fools, because people at a distance can't tell who is who.
That's why I'm just going to tell you I'm right. I'm going to keep going.
Say it out loud, huh? So
yeah, I like hearing myself talk.
Say it out loud.
That's nice.
I'm going to just keep saying it. So.
Right when you say, because people don't know who, actually like, well, I'm the right person. Right when you said that, I'm like, that's hilarious.
If I got to put a fucking label moving forward on my shirt, I will. Unless my shirt's cute.
I've realized
it's you about proving your point or finding the truth. That's what
well, there's always truth in the shit I say, so my thing is I'm waiting for somebody to tell me there's none.
It's one truth. It's one truth though. It's one God honest truth though. There's
right.
2.5.
And I'm the person that's blessed to have that God honest truth all the time. So I'm just trying to figure out, who's righter than me.
What's the question?
I got a question. Is the term "there's nothing new under the sun" accurate?
Yes.
Or are we just not being creative enough?
Say it again.
Is the term "there's nothing new under the sun" accurate, or are we just not being creative enough?
There's nothing new under the sun is conceptual as far as in actions and things we do as human beings. As far as shit we create, we can always create something. I mean, shit, there was no such thing as drones back then.
Yes,
Bruh.
trust. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
Back in Roman era, we had drones.
Bruh, it's back in Atlantis.
Damn.
You think that shit didn't exist? Stop playing with me, bro.
We can elaborate more on that after if you want. If you want, sir. I feel like that's gonna be good.
If you want to.
Okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Nah, you know what you said was ridiculous.
You can't say you ain't got that message.
I said, but can you disprove what I said?
Can you prove it?
Fuck yeah.
Show me an Atlantis drone right now. Show me a fucking Atlantis drone right now.
Go to draw it.
Bro, say that.
Show it to me. I want you to Aquaman space. Go buy one right now.
I'm gonna try to
say that Aquaman space, AP.
Why did you?
Buy a fucking Atlantis drone.
Say that Aquaman space.
The fuck? You call up Aquaman right now.
What do you think a remote control torpedo is, nigga?
You said what?
What do you think a remote control torpedo is?
Atlantis drone.
And we had that back in Roman era. We had that when Spartans was fighting.
You think that's ancient history? Do you think Roman is ancient history? Do you think Greece is ancient, bruh? That shit hotter than the motherfucker,
I know we ain't
bro.
finna get these. Oh, we go.
Bro, how far back do you want to go? We can go all the way back to the beginning of Earth time.
Nigga, do you know how to build a pyramid right now? Can you build a pyramid? Can you build a pyramid?
Were they building torpedoes?
Build a pyramid.
Were they building torpedoes?
Build a pyramid.
We got pyramid schemes all the time.
Nigga, not no fucking
We're
pyramid.
building all different types of pyramids. All different types of pyramids right now. But you showed me a torpedo when they was building pyramids.
I've seen torpedo titties.
The furthest they had to a torpedo was spitting darts, nigga.
Fam.
They be the cone kind. Like, why is your titties like that?
Them hurt.
The fuck?
Orangutan, yep.
Okay. See, is there anything? Is that statement accurate, or are we not creative?
When I let you know when I jump above the sun.
Saucy. Okay.
That was saucy, boy. Saucy.
Actually, is that statement accurate, or are we just not creative enough?
I think it's a little bit in the middle.
Ooh, okay.
Due to the fact that even though the concepts will always be something that is not new under the sun, you can always remix something or improve it. So we do lack creativity at times. Like some of these movies that keep coming out, at some point the concept would be the same, like a stalker ex-girlfriend, a little kid that. No, but I'm saying the single white female thing that they always do.
The latest thing is two people fighting and teaming up at the end.
Yeah,
doing that shit
or how all of these apocalyptic stories always
It's
got
hella mental shit going on.
Yeah.
It's hell. That's our trend nowadays. Mental issues.
Or how the scary movies now always got an explanation to it. Like we gotta know why Jason kills. We didn't need to know he got killed at summer camp. At one point, none of that shit mattered. We just saw him killing people.
I actually kind of like knowing why Jason kills.
But at one point we didn't need that though. Like
after a while, it became entertaining.
Yeah, like just
when he was in New York, he kicked over the radio. The nigga pulled out the knife. He's like, "No, you fucked up, right?"
I actually enjoy the backstories nowadays because it gives you more context on. Because at first it was just the killer, and it was like, all right, we just see killers. But now that you get more context on killers, it's like,
we see a genius killer.
Really?
Yeah.
realistically,
it adds more shit to the killing.
I could have did without Freddy Krueger's background.
Well, I was never really Freddy Krueger fan.
He was a pedophile.
You win on that.
And they burned him.
I give you that. I give you that.
And they explained it.
I love the Joker's background.
How much money you think they made off making the murderer?
Hello? Millions?
How much money you think they made off how to be a murderer?
Millions? Because you gotta at least think how to be a murderer in order to build one.
Exactly. So murder porn gonna forever have money in it.
Oh, like the snuff films and stuff. I think so a lot of these slavery movies is almost like porn for them.
Shut up, slavery porn.
It's like, oh my god, we're beating you guys. Oh, I love to feel guilty.
Oppression porn.
Oh my god. Oh, please hate me real quick.
Then they got hood porn.
Hood porn.
Yeah. Oh my god. Will Raekwon get shot in this movie? It's like, what the fuck?
Why baby mama just set him up. So John finna go get the gun strap and shoot his brother.
Marriage boot camp, love and hip hop.
Well, that shit's weird.
Anytime I'm hitting the blunt or having a drink, we end up in porn somehow. Like when I can't talk to something,
no, we do not end up pimping. We end up pimping. No, don't confuse the two.
No, we recently elevated to pimping.
We went to who goes to pimping.
I got to catch my breath.
At one point,
I don't catch my breath. We ain't that porn. Talk about porn and shit. Niggas on spank bang on
that was hella long.
I remember that. Now that was no, because one time what was it? It was me and who was here when you turned on your computer. We was like, whoa, what is that?
How much wood? If a woodchuck, good chuck, would answer the question. Let me hear it right now.
We wouldn't know.
How you wouldn't know?
Because none of well.
Depends on how many licks it takes to get to the center.
I like that one.
What are we talking about right now?
Wood?
Creativity versus
the concept of there being no more, nothing else to create.
That's what we talking about.
Yeah.
Think about all our answers. Who had an answer that you ain't never heard before out of all four of us?
Me.
Your answer was an answer.
Die line.
Man.
So, by what you're saying, is this very concept something new under the sun?
No, we all fit the answer criteria because I said something nobody never said before.
I'm pretty sure we said something, but like she said, we remixed it.
Yeah, because the thing is, everybody, they said that shit for a reason. Like, at the end of the day, we started off with some mode of transportation, and then they just fixed it. Now, yeah, they didn't start off with a car in the beginning of time, but they had maybe a wheelbarrow. Before that, they probably had a rock with a stick that they was pushing or whatever. Like, yeah, so it was like, yeah, the materials was different. Yeah, the name was different, and yeah, the shape was different, but the premise was we need to be able to move from point A to point B easier. So that concept is not different. It's just how somebody got around to doing it.
Well, how are we evolving over the sun?
Wait, what? How are we evolving around the sun?
How are we evolving over the sun? Because the statement is, say the statement again.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Under the sun. So you saying, well, everything started off as something that evolved into something that became greater. How do you know we evolved over the sun? What does that look like?
I don't think we ever did. Didn't they say if you reach the sun, you're gonna die? So somebody tried to get there.
I got a question.
I mean, technically they say the pineal gland is the sun.
Yeah, but they also do their best to try to kill certain people's pineal gland, especially black men. And I think that's why y'all don't dream as much. But that's a different theory.
I dream a whole bunch.
Yeah, but then, like, think of the dreams that you're having. Do they usually, like, tap into something, like, it's telling you something? Or you just... Oh, okay.
I get premonition.
So I ask people's opinion to see if I'm having the right idea of what that dream was.
Oh, yeah, I don't check opinions. I just look. I'm very cautious about the shit. I had this weird-ass dream a couple of weeks ago where I'm in a car. We're driving like on an 880 kind of, and I'm sitting in the passenger side, right? He's just talking. I'm looking. I don't know. He's just rambling. But it's nothing. But there's people on the side of the road. So first I'm driving. I'm not really tripping off them, but I can see it's like obstructions. So while I'm driving, I see like this mass in the middle of the road. The closer I get to it, I see it's a torso. So I'm like, why is there a body in the middle of the road? But he's not even paying attention to nothing I'm saying. And then the thing starts like reaching out to me. But it's a torso, it looks mutilated like somebody even stabbed it.
Y'all killed somebody?
No, like we're driving on the freeway.
No, these are just the inner images of action said.
That sounds like she done murdered somebody.
Yeah, but like
that's a premonition.
No,
I didn't murder somebody?
No, I didn't murder nobody in this dream.
It sounds like you gonna murder somebody in real life.
It's a long ass dream too, so y'all about to make this longer than what it needs to be.
It sounds like you about to murder somebody in real life.
I don't have dreams like that. My dreams
You about to tell your entire dream?
I wanted to.
I'm in the audience and
because we're your
audience
therapist
on the stage.
Oh no, because it was already passed, so I can talk about it now. Like what I believe was what the dream was trying to tell me passed. Because some of the details were very similar. Minus stabbed people or torso.
But the premise of it came true.
Yeah. I had another dream before.
Action dreams.
Okay, Action Luther King, Queen.
What?
I'm sorry, Action Luther King with a Q.
I don't have no dreams of people uniting, unfortunately. So y'all can get that shit out your head.
Question.
That's why I see we have his own tribe.
Yeah, see, he's gonna have to take all the catch-all people because we cutting everybody's heads off.
Yeah.
Oh, we talked about this already. So we have to be a tribe. We got to be the council for a tribe because we're gonna cut too many people's heads off. So nobody's gonna be able to trust us to be in our own shit. We got to kind of level.
I said if you have a baby below a certain IQ, you gotta die.
Exactly. And I'm like, anybody that's soft on oppressors or people that's causing dissension, they gotta die.
And I gotta recheck all of that shit.
And he wants a room full of heads. So we're not sure why he's beheading people, but we just know he's cutting them off.
Also, people who abuse and adopt the kids are automatically executed.
Yeah.
That's probably part of my collection.
Into a position of power now.
Like that's probably that'll be in the collection of heads.
That'll be in the collection of heads.
It's a collection of heads.
Yeah, we're
the thing is they would sign we definitely have a guillotine and I'd be the one monitoring the guillotine.
I'm monitoring the guillotine.
But they come to me. They have to come to me with the papers of why they need this. You feel me? Their head cut off, and I gotta review it. Now, if I stamp it, it's off with their head.
Damn. So they gotta review why they kill somebody?
I have to go through the reviews because I feel like sometimes y'all might not be very wise.
No, see, because I'm gonna be on the military side, so I'm already dealing with the people that soft on the ops and all that other shit. Bitch, we've already identified that they are a problem, and you're trying to give me reasons for why they need to stay. Both y'all bitches can go. So I'm overriding all that shit. I ain't got no forms for that. I don't have no forms. There's no guillotine. You won't give a moment to pray. We just
when we talking about an outside threat to civilization.
That's the outside threat. I'm the part of the military.
I have no issue with none of that.
Thank you.
We off in everybody's head.
AP,
women, children, kids.
What y'all talking about? Only our own country or continent?
No, we
talking about taking over.
I was talking about how is it so common that like kids get put in these foster homes that get abused and shit. And I'm like, these niggas ought to be instantly executed. And then we somehow went from that to being on the council, running shit, just killing everybody. We just been on a murder spree. We murdered everybody.
Everybody gotta go.
You know, it's crazy. I was watching a Pinky and the Brain episode about this. And the Brain, he went all the way as far as to join the UN and start really taking over the world. He was about to do it, bro. He was about to do it until Pinky fucked him up again, bro. And I was like, that's crazy. As he get closer and closer to where he's at, it need to be his fault or it be Pinky's fault every time.
So at this point, it should be safe to say that Pinky was working with the ops, and his whole point was to derail the mission. Nah. Pinky was there to derail the mission. He was an informant the whole time.
He was playing stupid?
He was an informant.
That's hell.
Actually, we'll probably be the one sending the rejects to see.
He definitely was an informant.
I get all the outcasts?
Yeah.
The ones he spared.
The ones that I spared.
The ones he spared.
My people, we gonna rebel and hold the whole world on hostage. Give us what we want, or we nuking everything.
I'm sorry, but Steve's tribe is gonna be so small because all the people that AP
it's gonna be tiny. It's gonna be really tiny.
All the people that AP is letting go, I promise you, I'm gonna kill them on the way.
God damn.
They're not making it.
Nah.
They're not.
And there is no rule. There is no rule.
They're not giving up the will to
because
fight.
now that they got
they
kicked away,
gonna fight for life.
Are you willing to give up your life to protect them on the way to Steve's tribe?
I told you there's no rule stopping any of that.
Oh.
I ain't never seen Messiah.
So once you come in, if you get out, if you make it out, you make it out.
Yeah, they're not.
If you don't, hey, I gave you the opportunity.
If I'm up and I'm not eating, them niggas.
I gave you the tools to freedom, which is will and determination. If you ain't got that,
they're gonna run away based on your eating schedule.
Nah, because it depends on what
got a fat ass feast coming up. Come on, bro. This is the time.
Bro, you gotta figure it out, bro.
They done fucked up because I can drive while eating. I can drive while putting on lip gloss, lipstick.
But you can't drive. You can't drive, eat, and shoot though.
She gonna be eating mutton and driving like.
I'm gonna just go like this.
I'm gonna just go
like this.
She gonna have somebody in the back. Hey, shoot!
Ass niggas don't even trip. I'm getting everybody. I'm gonna just run into them hoes. I ain't even gotta hit them with the sword. I'm gonna just run into your bitch ass.
Yeah, if you get caught, then you get caught.
To the side.
I can't do nothing for you. I just spared your head.
Got you. Cussed out.
I just felt like your head wasn't worth the collection.
Yeah.
How we got back to the tribe? Back to the tribe.
Because I was telling Steve how he ended up with a tribe.
Oh yeah, because he was like, yeah, that nigga gonna go straight to Steve.
Yep. So I was telling him why.
So if we don't settle duels like real men.
So basically, what we saying is, in this council, it'll be so much shit that you would let slide. The action says she'll just take pity and let you have your own section. And I guess the niggas, the runaways, they got a 50-50 chance of living a life of salvation with you.
If they make it to you, if they make it to you, they gonna have it easy. You know?
Yeah.
You ever seen the Walking Dead season part where they was standing in that little governed community?
Carl.
Yeah. And he was red as shit. He's like, you can't leave. Don't I take care of you? Once you leave, you might not be able to come back. And if you leave me, I think you're turning against me.
Exactly.
Turning against me, are you?
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly how it's gonna be.
Because you're exiling somebody, so it's a good chance they coming back. I'm gonna just catch these niggas.
That's exactly how it's gonna be.
I'm gonna let you leave. That's what it be.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you leave. I'm gonna
let you go. But then if action catches,
run to the grass. I'm gonna go like this.
Or that was another movie called Wayward Hills or Pinewood Hills. You try to leave, they'll try to kill you. It was so nice to you. Hey neighbor, need some sugar?
Damn.
You don't like it here?
You don't like it?
Okay. I gotta go ahead, and I gotta realize I got another.
I shot this whiteboard that I had to lay on the ground and do. I would be just like that. Cause I tried it before. It was a little weird because like the little kickback thing kind of felt like it was hitting me in my eye, but that's not the point. But I was like this. I would shoot them with those kind of guns because they think they got a fighting chance, but you can get them from hella far away. I was like in the snow shooting.
Yeah,
like
actually, I have a whole section out there dedicated to hunting them down.
Yes, I will. Especially since niggas done fucked up and taught me how to shoot hella guns.
Okay.
Oh, bitch, you gone.
Check it out. So earlier, as we all know, I did some research.
Oh, you did what?
I did some very, 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 very diligent research.
My nigga did what?
I don't believe it.
Bro,
Lonnie don't do nothing.
Is the world coming to an end, bro? What is going on?
I come to find out that if you Google the top black streaming shows, that it ain't nothing but toxic ass bullshit. So I have a question. Are niggas addicted to negativity?
People are addicted to negativity.
Okay. Can you do me a favor? Can you, what are on your phone, Google the top black streaming shows right now.
I don't agree with that. I just think bad news travels faster and more marketable.
I love.
But isn't that because people prefer that? If it's more marketable and it travels fast, is it because people consume it quicker?
The only reason why I don't agree with that, especially as a black thing, is because at one point we were watching
you're right. We don't have to make it a black thing. We can just say we can generalize it. Are people addicted to negativity?
Yeah.
But I do want to know what are the top black streaming shows
Of all time?
No, just right now.
Oh, so 2021.
Of all time.
All time?
They say this is a big rich town.
Well, when I looked it up, it was The Shy, it was Snowfall, it was Power, and I think it was Atlantic.
The only thing is, The Shy, to me, I wouldn't say that that's a solely negative show. I think it...
And you didn't say Insecure. That wasn't it?
Yeah, Insecure should definitely be on there.
Sisters was on there, which y'all said was toxic.
Sisters is horrible. My goodness, that shit is.
Why you sounding like you hate bitches?
The sisters
are horrible.
Ooh, if somebody came in on this part, you should have been here early, bitch. Okay, so yeah, the sisters is horrible. That when that lady turned around and was like, I need to get this dildo to see if this man is gay. What?
Bruh.
What are you talking about?
No, that her friend told her, you better try X, Y, and Z just to be sure.
Bruh, that shit is...
Go back to what you were talking about.
Wait, what?
Oh, The Shy.
We talking about black people watching
The Shy
ridiculous
isn't necessarily... I don't know if y'all watched that show, but The Shy isn't necessarily a negative show. Like, it does have elements of, like, Chicago gangs, yeah. But I would say Shameless was way worse than The Shy.
Shameless go crazy.
Also, Them was on there.
I agree. You said what?
Them was also another one.
Them is horrible. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so...
Black people all got horrible shows right now.
Why do people like consuming negative shit? And why is it so hard to, like, really appreciate positive shit?
I have an issue with the fact that we do watch positive. We like to see positive things of like that represent black people. Like a lot of the longest running shows had positive black families for the black community. Like the longest shows running, like Family Matters, Fresh Prince.
But what about in today's time?
I mean, but even they keep shutting those type of shows down. Like they only be lasting maybe a couple of seasons. But we had My Wife and Kids. I wasn't too crazy about that imagery because that the father-son relationship was kind of stupid to me. I don't like the fact that he always wanted to downplay his son's intelligence. Or
y'all seen that?
I didn't like that shit.
That show's hilarious.
I don't like it. I didn't like that show.
Y'all seen the family reunion show?
Yeah, it was cool.
The what?
I don't know. House of Pain go crazy.
House of Pain go
House
crazy.
House of Pain been going on for years.
House of Pain had what's her name on crack. I think she was probably, but season 1 she was already on crack. I mean, so.
You talking about Rudy?
Nah,
no.
Janine
Janine was on crack so quick. And my thing is, why they couldn't give her coke or something?
It's a black show for you.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's an app called All Black, where it's hella black shows.
Yep, I watched that.
My nigga Corey got a new show with hella YouTube.
I'm trying to. So is this wrong? And are people not addicted to? My bad.
They just dropped the Upshaws on Netflix with Mike Epps and Wanda Sykes.
People are addicted to what's different. So most people, they don't deal with this level of trauma all the time. So they watch TV to get to. It's like a voyeurism thing. Like you're watching somebody go through something because you don't have to. Like I like watching hood rats fight.
Oh, wow.
I'll be like, oh, these bitches is fighting.
I like watching
but I wouldn't personally want to be out there just fighting, getting my wigs and leaves and what the fuck? Your whole titty out, you look dumb as fuck.
UFC, wrestling.
But then sometimes I don't like seeing that shit. Sometimes I be like, you bitches is burnt the fuck out. Like all y'all want to do is just roll on the ground, dirty as fuck.
Slapping matches are hilarious. YouTube slapping matches.
What shows was on the list again? What was the top show?
It was
Power.
It was Power, The Shy,
all hood shit.
Snowfall, Them, Sisters.
So that's New York. Chicago. I'm just thinking about where these shows take place at, because these shows are real and they're portraying real life, and I'm thinking that's probably why they're so up there, because people relate to them.
But is that all we as black people are though?
The list that I found is different from yours though.
Good. They ran, but it's like, where are today's new ones? It's like we picking the lesser of two evils, because we ain't really got this.
How many times are you gonna keep displaying the problem with no solution? So we can keep on showing like this is happening, but how is that showing a solution to what's going on?
And we more so glorifying it.
No, but that's the thing.
It ain't showing no solution. It's just
but people just profiting off of other people's misery.
No, but that all depends on what y'all are personally.
The show.
But you guys are. It's basically based on what you all are personally choosing to watch. Because by black creators, we got Black Lightning.
For sure.
We got
Black Lightning go crazy.
We got Insecure. That is not a negative black person show.
I'm just talking about the top
stream. But Insecure is one of the top stream shows.
Up there. So this is bothering my tears. Did you know they put in the blind spotting show on Stars?
And then we got
blind spotting show. Blind spotting is that. I'm sorry, so sorry actually. But blind spotting is that movie from Brad. He on Snowfall now, but he also was in Rap Camelot. He from Oakland. He got that movie Blind Spotting. He had the crazy white nigga that was his best friend. And he was rapping through the movie with the cop. And they had the moving truck. You know what I'm talking about.
They're doing the show. Now they're doing shooting in West Oakland.
Exactly. Now they're doing a show where they're shooting in West Oakland, and it's on Stars. Coming right along, the same roster as American Gods and Power. I was like, but that's amazing. Yeah.
So
Oakland show.
So we got shows like there's a lot of black shows that's out that black people just are not watching.
People are interested.
Like Atlanta, that was a positive black show. That was not a messed up one. Survivor's Remorse, that was an all black cast show. Cool. I don't know if that was made by a black creator. But it was a pretty
It's made by LeBron James.
Oh, see, that was a very positive show. What else? And that show was on HBO. I never really heard black people talk about that show, but I actually enjoyed it. I haven't seen any new episodes because every time I check, I don't see it. But it's what black people as a whole are choosing to watch, or people as a whole, because I know for sure Insecure is one of the top streaming black created shows, and a lot of black people still will not watch that show, and I'm not understanding why, because it is almost like it kind of sums up that
I ain't gonna
late
lie,
20s
it's our life.
It's literally what a lot of people are doing.
I'm not gonna lie, when I started watching that, I'm like, bro, this reminds me of everybody I know.
Yeah. And it's not negative undertones. Like, everybody ain't struggling on that show. Like, Issa's struggles was her cheating on her boyfriend, but it was reversed. Instead of her being the angry black woman, it's the black man dealing with, hey, how do you take back somebody that betrayed you like this? And then both of them in their mid-20s to early 30s navigating through life, trying to find employment. Yeah. And then some of their other friends are more established, like trying not to keep up with the Joneses, but also trying to find your own lane.
Like it actually represents either us or somebody we know.
Or like growing out of certain friendships. Can y'all recover from it, or can you
trying to get a job and like looking,
taking little side jobs, like when she was doing DoorDash or Uber, and then
when the girl was trying to be an Instagram influencer.
Yeah, it was like. All of that stuff was like, or what you call it, dealing with finding out that her father cheated on her mother. Like, to us, that that might not seem major, but for her, growing up with that picturesque ideal of black love, it helped her in certain kind of ways, but it hurt her in other kind of ways because she never finds that kind of man when now she's dating in the 2000s. She's not getting that old school love that she grew up seeing.
And that's exactly what's going on.
And I identified with her.
That's exactly what's going on.
That's literally what's going on.
But niggas don't know how to have that old school love for their woman, and women nowadays don't know where to find that. And the thing is, when you do get that old school love from a dude, they don't know how to treat it.
No. When you're getting that old school love from men, their friends are shaming them for loving their woman or catering. Like,
are we talking about?
That'll be personal. Never mind. But there is a problem.
Insecure.
Yeah, it's a problem with men loving their women right now. And then especially like black men trying to love black women. He's a simp. He's soft. Oh, why are you ain't gonna like this in a minute? Oh, why are you doing that? She can do that herself. And it's like,
Oh, you know she probably was saying that to another nigga. Yeah, let me win, nigga.
Yeah, like you're tripping because he found somebody that he's trying to love. It might not work out, but you're mad. Like there's no problem going on. So people be gravitating to the negative.
That's a good show.
And that was a big streaming show, especially for like a certain type of black kids gonna watch that shit. Like, I know for sure I gravitated to Insecure because it was an all-black cast, and not only is it all black cast, but they're covering topics that are not toxic. It's not going to trigger you unless you remember having to eat noodles because you got to pay your tuition.
Right. It's not trying to be on no heavy ass shit. It literally just depicts your everyday life, for our generation, and that's what's amazing. Because it's like you watch all these other shows, and like now I'm just now realizing that television is now being tuned to us specifically. Mm-hmm. Everything is now being tuned specifically to us. And it's crazy because it's like
we set the tree.
We got blackish.
Well, now we're our parents now
because we have the most spending power.
But we're also not even just that, but we're in a position where our parents was, where when they were growing up and when they were this age and TV and everything was based around their lives and everything was based around shit that they were going through at their generation. Now it's like, now on a mass scale, everything's based around us.
Yeah. Because I remember Florida Evans, Esther Roll, was saying how she was not going to take the position as Florida originally because they were trying to type her that character as a single mother. So it was like, why did they need that image? And then even when they provided a father in the show, notice how removed they had him.
Yeah, he was barely there half the time.
Barely there. He has a daughter who's sexually active. She's always looking for a nigga. Always looking for a nigga to love her. And then their son was the buffoon, always looking for a bitch to love him. He falling head for heels for a dope fiend one time, the school hoe. Sure. He was all over the place. And then the younger boy was the Black Power, I know everything young dude, but it was like...
You don't know nothing.
He was the most consistent character. Not in a bad way, though, because the other two, they had to grow up into some type of maturity, but they kind of tried to make his position where he's speaking some real shit, but they try to make him, like, hyper pro-black, and it was like... At the end of the day, it still was a good mix of positive characters, but they made it comedy instead. But they still kept introducing tragic ass themes like getting evicted, or the little girl on heroin, or the wino being funny as fuck, or a pimp. Which I'm trying to understand. You know what? Florida Evans was a badass fucking mom. She was horrible. That's all I gotta say. Florida Evans is a piss poor mother. That's it.
I took a tragic turn. Sorry.
We should do an episode on that because I got some shit to say. Florida Evans is always on my radar since the 5th grade. I've been on her head.
Good times.
Florida Evans is a piss poor mom. I've been saying that shit. In a nicer way. I was saying this shit since 5th grade.
Well, I was watching a Jaleel White interview where he was talking about how Carl Winslow and the wife, I forgot her name, they both was talking to him about doing that character. His cousin, Myrna Urkel, the female Urkel. And he was like, bro, this could very well tarnish your character. And he said, I grew up playing the dirt on TV. My character is that forever.
Yeah, because how many people remember him playing Myrtle Urkel?
Exactly.
Not that many people. She wasn't even on the show that many times, but I can see what they was trying to say.
Yeah.
These people will typecast you. They will make you very feminine. You notice Terry Crews. They can't put him in a movie half of the time without having him at least down low.
Doing some shit.
They got him jacking off to Tupac's video and trying to rape Money Mike in the bathroom. What? Or on white chicks.
Or sleeping with a white man on white chicks.
Yeah, like what? And they always do them like that. Why would you take roles like that?
That nigga was hell bad.
It's healthy if you
was mad he wasn't white. Not even that was a whole nigga.
Speaking of roles and black representation, so There's a lot of black women upset under Colin Kaepernick's latest post.
A lot of people give a fuck about what people post.
Well, so I get where they're coming from. I get what they're what they're saying.
You can't censor how people feel. It's like
no, you can't.
Go ahead, though.
So the thing is this: what they're saying is he has the thing about stopping police brutality and stuff, but he's using the image of a dark-skinned black woman. So they're like, we already don't get much representation as black women with police experiences. It's more so like the focus is usually on black men and y'all experience with the police. Even though we experience shit with them as well. Especially dark-skinned women as being typecasted as, well, I don't want to say typecasted, that's not that they're not acting. But dark-skinned women being stereotyped as angry, aggressive, violent. So they get the same judgment as a man a lot of times. So I get what they're saying.
Strong or aggressive.
Yeah. So they basically kind of make dark-skinned women equivalent to men.
I know what you mean.
They'll handle them a little differently.
As in they're more intimidating.
Yeah, and they'll view a lighter-skinned black woman, unless you're vocal and you come off angry because of some social conditioning.
Hold on, so were people upset that it was a dark-skinned woman or that it was a woman, period?
Well, for one, they're asking for him to don't use black, especially unambiguous black women, as your face for the struggle. Don't use us. And my thing is, there's going to be some dark-skinned women that's going to view me and say, I don't have a right to feel some kind of way.
It is a picture.
Yeah.
There's not but it was a drawn fucking cartoon.
But AP, if imagery didn't matter, the larger community, white people, would not feel the need to fight for their image. If you ever notice, there are times where, say, you save a white woman today. Like, it happened to one brother before when he said, I knew something was wrong when a white woman came and ran up to me for help. Do y'all remember that black man? He found a girl that had been kidnapped in someone's home for years. So her family was looking for her, and then she ended up running and signaling him for help, and I guess he broke into the house, or she broke out and ran to him for help. Yeah. So he said, I knew something was wrong because a white woman's asking me for help.
And that video we did?
I think so. Yeah. So, they went and did a background check on him, that the man who saved the woman, not the man that had her hold up in the house.
Like he had a felon or something.
Yeah. And that's the type of things that they do. So what they're asking is, don't throw us in the mix right now, because there's been situations such as Breonna Taylor that she didn't get fought for as hard as the black man that was shot down for. And that's a fact. A lot of those things do not happen. What's happening is they're mentioning her in a cute hashtag. Oh, and by the way, justice for Breonna Taylor. But she didn't get that burn the cities down, we can't breathe, hands up. They didn't do that for her. And it happens a lot of times with black women. But they said the same thing with was that Trayvon Miller's? I mean Trayvon. It's so many. Trayvon Martin.
They're not doing it for the recent person that just got killed.
I mean, but they just tore down the city for George Floyd. So my thing is like,
just one person out of a million.
So the whole thing is, usually when we talk about police brutality, there are black men's faces being posted as the victims. Don't use us as the aggressor, though. That does send a message, especially for dark-skinned black women.
They have her. I felt like he probably put the woman on there.
They have her yelling, basically, or looking upset. So what they're asking for, and again, you don't have to identify with it, but at the end of the day, receive what they're saying as black women, because at the end of the day,
the white woman for that.
Right.
So what they were asking for is either use the actual faces of victims, like black men are the victims that's being fought for. So why you didn't use them? A lot of times they are using black women as the forefront of the fight.
Ain't that what y'all looking? Ain't that incorporating y'all or something like?
But the thing is, the thing is, what's happening is, we're being incorporated in the fight, but we're coming off as the aggressor or angry when we do it. So you got to pick a side. Either you're going to ask us to do it, or you're going to receive us doing it and allow us to have that space as the warrior or the fighter. But since they're not doing that, what they're doing is shaming black women for speaking up and saying something. So which one is it? Because when it comes down to us being the victims, we are not getting the same energy. We are not.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. It's okay because you won't get it. There is a lot of narratives where black men are getting the space to talk about when they've been accosted by police. And when they are being gunned down, when they are being abused and hurt. You are getting press. You're being heard. Period. People are fighting in the streets for you all. Period. But when it's coming to black women, it's, oh, by the way, justice for Breonna Taylor. Oh, it's horrible what happened to Sandra Bland. Let's watch the video over and over and over and make her hashtag change her to a profile.
One person.
That is not true. There has been multiple riots for black men, period. So I'm not saying who has it worse, but I'm just delivering why they felt the way they felt. We don't have to necessarily agree. I get where they're coming from.
I feel like that also causes the further division between black men and women.
In a way, it could.
And
but
as long as that keeps us divided, it keeps us focused on something other than the actual cause, the actual shit.
In a way, it could. However, what's happening is imagery is important. If imagery did not matter, he would have used a white person. If imagery did not matter.
He would have got shitted on for that, though.
He would have got shitted on no matter what at this point.
But what's happening is, since he did not use actual
If he would have been a dude, he would have put it on there, and the women would have been saying, "Oh, he not doing you feel me? Women are it's always men always."
But the thing is, had he used the actual victim, then they would have said he explained it.
Okay,
then they would say he's trying to get, he's trying to use this person to further his cause.
But the thing is, like, they're looking at the fact that he's using a dark-skinned black woman to appear angry. That is a stereotype that is used for black women. They're
so
just
if
asking,
they would have made her happy, would it have been different?
What they're asking for is, if anything, just don't even put a face on there.
With the subject matter,
if that's the case,
I agree with
I get what they're saying.
Like,
so
he could have used a black woman for anything.
Especially since he's not even married to a dark-skinned black woman. So he's like, at the end of the day, you're not even identifying with the same women that's putting their lives on the line for your mission.
Did he make the flyer?
Allegedly, yes.
He made it himself?
I mean, he's taking credit. If he's taking credit for it, then unfortunately he's going to bear the brunt. If he's going to make himself the face of it, unfortunately he's going to make himself bear the brunt. So, and then they got on Kerry Washington ass because her light skinned ass in the comments applauded him for the thing, and they said, okay, so you're going to allow him to have a colorist thing going on, or pushing the agenda against dark-skinned women. I mean, if he had an angry dark-skinned man, someone would have said something about that as well. We get that. But then what's happening is that stop using dark-skinned people for angry shit, period. Stop using it.
Stopping police brutality.
So it's about stopping the police and the way that people are using prisons and police, like reforming or defunding.
I see the picture.
It says abolish the police, close the prisons. So again, as men, as dark-skinned black men, as black men, y'all might not see what the problem is. But I know even with my skin tone, I might not get treated the same way that some of my dark-skinned black female friends do get treated. And I've seen that for myself. Also, as a black woman, period, regardless of my skin tone, I get treated a certain kind of way that my white, Latin, and Asian counterparts do not get treated. I cannot voice an opinion at work without it coming off as if I'm upset or that they have to calm the situation down. Well, all I did was just say, my name is not Shia. You pronounced it wrong. Oh, well, this is my name. Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm sorry. Like, now you're being funny. But if I say anything about it, I'm being angry. But it's because we're the only ones really saying, hey, you're not finna do this shit. Not right here, not right now, not ever. And since we're the only ones saying that shit, it's coming off like, oh, they're aggressive. But no, somebody gotta put some shit in motherfucking order since y'all can't. Something's gotta happen. Today I was on a Zoom interview at 9 a.m. This man made a point to try to pronounce my name. So he never said it out loud. He went, mind you, the person who's recruiting for the position, they have a working relationship, obviously. This person has a complicated ass name. Bomber Summerang something Singali or some shit, right? Yeah. So your name is hard as fuck itself, but they can say his name. When it came to my name, he's going, then he says, okay, well, hi Shay. So I corrected him and I said, good morning, but my name is... After that, the interview was awkward.
Yeah.
because he was gonna make himself rename me. Right. If I don't get this job, you gonna say my name, right? And then the first time he tried to say it after that, he was like, struggle until you get it, bitch. I don't give a fuck. We can sit here for the next 30 minutes while you struggle with my name. Because you were able to say Vanderkumanar. So you can say my fucking name. Yeah, so that's the little things that people be dealing with. And if you correct them, even in a polite manner, the fact that I corrected him was a problem.
So the proper thing for him to do that would have made this particular demographic happy was to put a faceless or a man. Like, what should he have done?
Just the sign.
Well, for one, if you're gonna use
just the sign itself,
yeah, you could have just did the sign, because the thing is, what's happening is you're making black women the aggressor in this situation. She abolish it now. Like, what? Why do we?
Should she be not angry with what's going on? She's protesting.
Okay, so the thing is, again, the victims are primarily black men. So if anything, if we're gonna use that image, use it with a faceless black man. If black women got a problem with that, easy. A lot of the victims that are gunned down by police are black men. So that's the reason why.
I was gonna say that he was probably shooting for black mothers, but with the subject matter, if the abolition or whatever is what you're trying to come across, then you just need to put that.
Yeah, it should have just been regular sign.
None of that.
At the end of the day, he used a certain imagery, a certain person, a certain color for a reason. So, why?
Because that's who's getting gunned down in the streets.
Not dark-skinned black women.
No, it's the
They're
mothers.
not getting the attention.
It's the mothers of who's getting gunned down in the
attention
streets.
by being in the front. That's.
It's the mothers.
But it's dark-skinned black men that are getting the attention on the TV. They are the ones that we are protesting for. So use black men if that's the case then. Don't use black women as the aggressor all the time. That's all they're asking.
She said they're not rocking for
If imagery matters for you all, if y'all don't want to be, you should be able to wear your tennis shoes and your puff coat and your gold jewelry or whatever, right? Without anyone saying that he looks like a thug. So you would feel some kind of way if you woke up one day and on the TV they used you as just some random ass model for a thug.
But it's not a thug. It's
right. But it was an aggressive looking black woman. All they're asking is, in this subject matter, don't use us. They got the right to say that.
If it's a poster for somebody running a race, they're supposed to be like smiling. It's like, no, I'm racing. They're protesting. But that's a
but that wasn't even necessarily a protest. It looks more like the one.
She has a picket sign.
So again, as the group of women who are deemed the aggressor, even in normal situations, hey, you put tomatoes on my sandwich. Can you give me a new one? How can you tell? But the overall problem of being an aggressor it's bigger than that poster, okay? But this is something that is being circulated worldwide.
So that point has nothing to do with the poster.
But it's something that aids in that stereotype of aggressive black women. They have the right to ask to be removed, period. Yes. Just like if you woke up one day as a black male who they assume to be the aggressive criminal thug, and you woke up, yes it is. If they're okay, so if they sat there. No, it's not necessarily a positive thing.
If they took my picture and said black man goes to college and puts me on there, and I would be okay with that because it's not a negative thing.
Okay, but this is necessarily in a negative situation where they're making her appear angry.
She's protesting.
But they have the right to not want to be used.
But she's not representing.
But we do get one person represents all of us, unfortunately.
But that's not a real person.
But at the end of the day, that imagery is a thing. Period. So if you woke up one day and an image that was similar to you, or if they took your actual picture and cartoonized it or whatever.
So fuck what the real message is.
They could have used it without it. And again, these are black women asking for something. They should be they should have the right to be heard the same way if a black man felt a way about it or black men felt a way about it. He has the right or they have the right to be heard. So what we're doing right now is telling them that they don't have the right to feel how they feel. We are not living their experience. Okay, so I just told you what hundreds of them are saying, that they don't want their image used for an aggressive situation.
I feel like they're asking more for
they have the right to say that. So the same way. So I just told you what they said.
I know, and the aggressive situation is a black woman protesting, and her face is not even angry. I don't even get what the problem is.
So for you might not see angry. For them, they did. So we have.
It's a face, it's smiley or
but
frowny.
Okay, but the same way right now you're low key kind of smiling, but you're having it's a debate with me.
No, I'm just trying to understand.
Okay, but it is still a debate. A debate. Okay, but a debate doesn't have to be a negative thing. However, we are having a dialogue. Okay, but we're still debating two opposing sides.
No.
So what's happening is now perception. So what's happening right now is perception. Perception of your idea of what a debate is negative. For me. So why me using the word debate is an issue?
Because that's not the truth.
So for me, do we understand what the word debate is?
Yes, a debate is you have one point and I have a point. I'm trying to debate that. I'm trying
to
understand.
So what's wrong with me saying debate? Because you now just use it as a
I'm trying to understand.
Now we get
right, but
now we talking about debate.
Your opposing point was what was wrong with it? I don't see the problem. She looks smiling. That was your point.
I'm trying to understand.
So that was your point. We have two opposing points.
No, that's not opposite. I'm trying to understand.
It's definitely opposite. To me, I see aggressor and I agree with them.
If your point is right, I feel like you should be able to prove it to me.
Okay, but I don't need you to prove your point.
I'm not trying to prove a point. I want to understand what you're talking about.
Okay, so there's no real need to understand what I'm saying if when I'm telling you what's being said, if I can. Okay, unfortunately, because what's happening is once I told you what the comments were saying, you're still saying I don't see what the problem is. So therefore, it's not necessarily agreeing. It's not necessarily trying to see the other people's point. You're now discrediting their point.
No.
Actually,
okay, so at the end of the day, black women, these especially dark-skinned black women, they have an experience that maybe you might not understand and I might not understand. So all we can do is listen to what hundreds of them are saying that they don't like that image and respect it. That's where my stance is. They're stating what their experience is based on certain imagery, and they want it to stop. So just like twerking, drug use, promiscuity, poor mothering, being single, and all this other stuff, they want those negative stereotypes to not be perpetuated. That's all they're asking.
Because if that's the point, then they should not use that because that's a very bad example. That's a black woman protesting police brutality.
But it's one of many examples. It's one of many.
How is that negative? A black woman protesting police brutality, how's that negative thing?
Because to them, and to even what I see an aggressive...
How is that negative to you?
I see an aggressive black woman. In her face, I see aggression.
Because she's angry about police brutality.
Okay, so what they're saying is don't use their face, their imagery, their skin tone. That's what they're asking.
Okay, so you don't want to use their imagery, but then you're saying that they're only using black men.
I got a question.
Well, that's what they're asking. Since black men are... So therefore, you're not listening to understand, because now every time what they're saying, you're going, what's the problem? I don't see the problem. That doesn't make sense. But they're telling you what it is, whether it makes sense to you or not, because again, we don't have their experience.
You said that they're only talking about black men, that they're
no, I
only
didn't.
Out there,
but I'm saying that it was one of many experiences.
You guys put you on here.
So this is one of many experiences. This is just something that I came across today. But I've seen these same comments used for promiscuity, twerking,
those
fighting.
Are negative things.
Right, but to them, what they're saying is being the aggressive is negative.
Sis,
no, but that's
time out. So, sis, if they came out with a post, and the post was saying like the black woman is God, and they used the light skinned women to promote that post, should dark skinned women be upset with that?
I do see why there are times where they do feel upset in situations like that.
So they get to pick and choose what they get to be mad at.
No, in those instances, I feel like if we looked at the black woman is God comments, pictures, or whatever, there's going to be often times where you'll see more images of my skin tone or lighter used for that imagery. It's rarely a dark-skinned woman. So I do get where they're coming from. The one time, Colin Kaepernick, you decide to use our imagery, it's in an aggressive situation, period. So whether we see a problem with it is because we don't have that experience with them. They have the right to say that. The same way black men can speak for what they experience, and we can't tell y'all how to feel. And then even within your community, as a light-skinned black man or a dark-skinned black man or a mixed black man, all three might have different experiences.
Because I'm just trying to see where does it stop. Because that's what I'm saying, okay, say your point is valid. If Colin Kaepernick tomorrow came out with a post and it was like the black woman is God, and it just showed a light-skinned woman. Do dark-skinned women have that right to be upset with what he is posting?
I feel like they would, due to the fact that it furthers their point that the one time you talk about a black woman fighting is a dark-skinned woman. The one time you're talking about a black woman and her femininity appearing softer, you're using a light-skinned woman. So again, that would,
a dark-skinned woman would be.
I think that they would feel okay with that, due to the fact that you're representing them in their feminine energy. use that same energy that you use to promote a masculine, aggressive side. Use that same imagery for when
look at it as him
we're honoring our
sexist
femininity.
and misogynistic, or
not necessarily, depending on how the picture is. So if it's a black woman in her power, she might be sitting at a desk or in beautiful flowy clothes in a forest or something. He's saying black woman is God. I'm pretty sure they would be okay with that. But if he said black woman is God and all the pictures is light skinned, I can see a dark skinned woman feeling some kind of way due to the fact that in all of the imagery that's angry, you use our skin tone.
What if the training put a picture of himself up talking about black women is God?
They probably would just feel like it's a picture of him talking about black women. Showing love or respect.
They won't feel no.
I'm sure there's gonna
that
be
nigga up there in the dress and the wig.
I'm sure it's gonna be a small group.
Black woman is God.
Well, I mean, that would be kind of odd because that's not even his character usually. But if Big Frida probably did that, they would probably be like, "Oh, okay, that's cool."
The hashtag.
Ridiculous.
I mean, but that's someone that's someone that normally dresses more on the feminine side. He gets nails done here.
So Colin Kaepernick has to operate his page based on the expectations of.
He got to go around and collect all of y'all,
specific group.
Talk to all of y'all and figure out what all of y'all
he hasn't taken it down, so no. But at the end of the day, they have the right to voice their opinion. Now, does he have to change his whole platform because a group got upset? No. But to say that they don't have a valid point or to say that they don't have the right to express their point, that's not fair. That's not okay. And it's pretty valid that imagery does make sense. Again, if any of us woke up today tomorrow, and our image is being used like a stock image. Like, for instance, some random photographer took a picture of you at the lake, and you minding your business, talking to your friends. You happen to have a gold chain on. Can I finish? You happen to have a gold chain on. They're on the news talking about thugs in the East Bay, and they use your image. Even though you're not dark skinned, you're not light skinned, someone may feel some kind of way because in their mind, your image is being used to represent all black men.
That's different.
That is not different.
First off, it's different on the side because if the photographer takes a picture of you and use that photo of you, first off, they can't use that photo of you unless you sign a document that allows them access to use that photo. So that right there is different. You could draw up any type of picture or whatever and use that for whatever. That's a drawn up picture of whatever. It's also different because shit. Look, all the imagery of where they actually have real people, don't nobody really look at it as deep as they do in obviously a drawn up picture for some reason. So it's like, bro, it don't matter. It's just picking and choosing. And my question is, does Colin Kaepernick also have the right to say "fuck them hoes"?
I mean, technically, him keeping the post up, yeah, that's technically what it was.
Because I would definitely post another post and say, fuck you bitches.
I mean, the same way he got the right to say fuck you bitches, they got the right to say, hey, you're using this image, it sucks. I don't like it. They got the right to say that. So to feel like black women can't speak up for themselves is bogus. Period.
Actually, I'm gonna lie. I absolutely agree with you on the simple fact that I generally always see an angry black woman. I generally always see that, yes. But I don't think Colin Kaepernick had that in his mind. I think what he had in his mind was the same that he had in his mind when he was taking on them knees. Police brutality. He just felt like he should have, used somebody different, used another different image. I agree with you, but on his mind was police brutality, protesting against police brutality, no matter who was the image. I feel like that's what was on his mind. That's what he seen, and that's what he took the news for, and that's what he's running away with.
Yeah, I think
he was never really a good quarterback either.
Damn, I think in his mind he went with who normally protests, right? I get that. However, my whole premise is they have the right to say what they don't like. He has the right to keep it up. So we can argue on what's the problem, but the problem is someone said that they don't like it. Okay, that's it. Does he have to address it? Does he have to fix it? Fuck no, he ain't got to do shit. But to say that they don't have the right to speak up or say that there's an issue is bogus. Because if our images was used today, or even a cartoon, to say that cartoons imagery does not matter. It definitely does. Because if Superman was black tomorrow, you know how many white people gonna have a problem with that shit?
I'd have a problem with that shit. Because I would have a problem with that shit.
But the thing is, the origin of Superman and certain things like that. Like some of that stuff had origins for them, and it had a meaning for the American way.
I would have a problem for that with that.
So
Superman is an illegal.
Y'all better not make Superman black.
Right.
Never do that.
This is why we don't have the
Never make
what I'm
Superman
saying
black.
is everybody has to express their opinion.
That's all I'm saying.
I thought our whole thing was their shit valid.
And the thing is, we don't know because we don't have their experience.
I mean, that's what any opinion.
Some people
exactly.
So
that's all I keep saying. So we don't. It doesn't have to make sense to us because we don't have that shared experience. But I guarantee you, if someone laid out a platform and tried to speak for black men and it was off, there would be black men that would say this is wrong. And they might take that good old fight and fight for it. Other black men might say, I don't see the problem with it, or I have never had this problem, so I don't get it. There's going to be black women that's probably going to say, what the fuck are they talking about? This not even that deep. There's going to always be someone saying, it's not that serious, I don't get it. There's going to always be someone that's saying, I got a problem with this. Whether either side is right, we don't know. But I'm saying that at the end of the day, we can't say that their experience was wrong or their opinion based on experience is wrong because we don't live their experience.
Before you say it's wrong though.
Huh?
You say it's wrong though.
What's wrong?
What he did.
You have the right to say it don't make no sense. You definitely do.
Do you say it's wrong?
You definitely have the right. You have the right to say it makes sense or don't.
No, I have to say that. I said I have the right to say make it make sense.
Right, and you have the right to say that too. But at the end of the day, the minute I said, I mean, it doesn't have to make sense to you.
Because it's an opinion at the end of the day.
Because it doesn't have to. At the end of the day, these people have the group of people. Right.
That's why I can't prove no one's opinion. I just
right, but you had asked me to prove. And I was like, all I know is
I said just make it make sense.
And again, the reason why I can't make it make sense is because I don't have their experience. But what I can do is listen to what they're saying and not take away from an experience that they may have had due to certain images, certain cartoons, certain characters.
My question to you though, Action, is do you feel like Colin Kaepernick was wrong?
I feel like he tried to use the imagery of who he usually sees protesting.
Do you feel like he was wrong?
I don't be out there protesting, so I don't know why he chose that image. So I can't say he was wrong. I can't say he was wrong or right because I don't know what was the motivation behind it. I don't. I wasn't there in the marketing room. I wasn't there at the person who sketched it. I wasn't there who printed it. I don't know. So I don't know what his intentions were.
Should we figure? All right. My whole thing is your overall goal to figure out, like, were you asking whether we wanted to know whether he was wrong? Well, we think he was wrong or right, or you just wanted to talk about?
We were originally talking about imagery, and I said imagery is important. Then I brought up, but as a matter of fact, Colin Kaepernick just posted an imagery that made dark-skinned women, or a group of dark-skinned women, feel some kind of way. That's how I segued into it. I didn't necessarily need... I didn't need anything per se, but I was just saying that imagery obviously does matter because a cartoon image of dark-skinned women made at least a group of 100 or so black women feel some kind of way. And it's been the conversation today, period. And my thing is I understand where they're coming from, even if I've never necessarily experienced what a dark-skinned woman experiences. I can't take that away from them because I do not experience it. I have seen, however, certain colorist comments made to me.
Actually, do you know what nitpicking is?
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with nitpicking?
No.
What is? Give me your. What is nitpicking?
I feel like in these instances, it'll be a group of people that do see something wrong. Someone may assume that they're nitpicking because they feel that they're valid, their information, their experience, their opinion is not valid. It's not a big deal because I don't personally experience it. That's an idea of nitpicking. Or because you don't like someone, so you keep poking at everything that's wrong with them.
And you fed up with it.
Yeah, or you're jealous of them, so you keep, let me keep fucking with them so I can find their insecurity. It's different reasons to nitpick. There's different reasons to nitpick with someone.
So, is picking and choosing your battles a type of nitpicking?
Yeah. Sometimes. Because sometimes you'll say, this person isn't even worth me responding. But you'll sit there and argue with somebody else. So
even though somebody nitpicks, do you validate their nitpicking?
When you say validate, they nitpicking in some kind of way. I mean,
so what I'm saying is, like you said, everybody has a right to express themselves, but sometimes people are just nitpicking.
Right.
So
sometimes people ain't got shit to do.
Is nitpicking valid? Do we validate that behavior, or do we correct that behavior?
Again, in this instance, we don't know if these people were nitpicking or not.
They was nitpicking. They was nitpicking. They had nothing else to do.
Okay, so if there's ever been any time where a stereotype may have surfaced in your life negatively because someone else has spread a narrative about people that look like you, then I don't see how their experience is any different because we don't experience it. Because at the end of the day, imagery is important, whether it's a cartoon or not. Whether it's a fictitious character on a TV show or a movie or not. Whether it's someone that's being posted on WorldStar or not. These images matter. That's the reason why when there's a school shooter, they say troubled teen shot up a school. But if it was a black man that shot someone because they may have hit his mother, is felon, or enraged criminal. When
black men or when men in general say how we feel about twerking, or just say how we feel about certain women wearing like fake hair, are we nitpicking?
Sometimes it could be nitpicking. However, there are some black men that do know black women that are scared of their hair, that hate their hair. It could be nitpicking, but there are some black women that you can't even go to the store without them hiking it over in front of the store, putting a cucumber next to their mouth while they twerking. Some people are tired of seeing that shit. And then some people are like, let sleeping dogs lie. It's not that serious. But then they're also not looking at the fact that imagery is important. So there's going to be a little girl that's going to copy that. It's going to be some man that feels that he can come fondle you because you done express some type of sexual innuendo. So it's just kind of like, again, they don't have a problem. I mean, it's not necessarily a problem that they have a problem. But then to say later on, if someone expresses the reasons why they feel a way about this black woman twerking, and somebody going, oh, you just nitpicking. It's like, no, because he just listed the reasons why.
When some black men always come at you with that, like, oh, that's why black women, they don't listen and submit to their man, whoop, whoop, whoop. Are they nitpicking?
They could be. The reasons why, it depends on why they're saying it. What?
No, go ahead. Listen.
It also depends on if they're trying to say all black women. Like, if you're going to say all black women are nitpicky, all black women don't submit to their man, so I'm supposed to submit to one I don't know? Like, who are you talking about? Sometimes just getting more information or having a debate, you'll then figure out, like, oh, okay, he's not talking about all black women. He's talking about the ones that he know. He's talking about the ones that he can't get to submit to him. He's talking about how his mom was submitting to any and every nigga and still wasn't getting the right results.
For sure, but when he coming at you and he projecting all that on you, he's nitpicking, right?
I feel like he's projecting, not necessarily nitpicking, because he can't possibly be talking to me. Why would I submit to you?
So that's what I said. When he's projecting on
you. But nitpicking isn't necessarily like...
That's a form of projection.
Yeah, but when he's like... Okay, so nitpicking, usually you're nitpicking like at a specific person. So it's a group of women possibly nitpicking at Colin Kaepernick. They're not going, all athletes need to da-da-da. They're going, Colin Kaepernick, you fucked up here. You feel me? They on his page going off. And nitpicking, if I'm fucking with you, like, why you wearing this? Why you doing that? Da-da-da. I'm nitpicking at you. I'm not going, all black niggas be da-da-da. All black men, all black. Then that would be projecting. Like, what are you going through, sis, that just made you go on this whole rant because I'm wearing a black hoodie? Like, what just happened here? And we just was talking about that earlier with the dude that went off on me with my son. It's like, yeah, it was like, are you really talking to me in this moment, or are you projecting? And it made me take time to hear him out. And it was more of a thing for him because of certain things he's seen.
So what he was saying to you was valid, and we can close out in just a second. So what he was saying to you was valid?
I think in his experience, it may be valid for the women he's encountered. It sounded like he dated an older woman who he lived with.
But when he came at you with it, though, was it valid to you?
For his personal experience, yes, but he tried to project it on me. He didn't know me. Up until that day, he's always been...
See how you saying, but, yes, but? That means it wasn't valid to you. That's what you're doing. You're saying it wasn't valid.
So you're correct. because I just negated everything I said after the yes. So let me rephrase it. He's projecting. So he's not speaking about my personal experience. He then, after having a dialogue with him that came from a debate, it was due to the fact that he had an experience with a black woman with children who he was trying to be a father figure to, and these were similar triggers for him. So in those instances, if I wouldn't have took the time to talk to him and figured out why he was coming at me like this, and I didn't take his experience, I could have easily said, well, what's the problem? It's not that serious. You're just nitpicking. It's like, well, no, it was projecting because that wasn't my personal experience. But, because I am going to use but in this instance. Because now I'm not. Butts. No, because I'm not doing a yes and or yes but. Yeah. Okay. But in this instance, he wasn't talking to me personally. He did not have none of the stuff he was saying applied to me.
It didn't have to apply or be personal. He was still nitpicking at you about some bullshit.
Well, it wasn't necessarily
bullshit. Straight bullshit.
He can't nitpick on things he didn't even know was my life. Like all he was coming at me with shit that did not apply to me. Oh, that's why you're single. You're a single mom. I'm not a single mom. How am I a single mom? So that was the thing.
So
and then
it was damn, actually, you always got your phone. My bad, not to cut you off. Damn, actually, you always got your phone on the table. Damn, why your charger right here, bud? This is nitpicking, right? This is a form of no, that's motherfucking nitpicking. I'm just saying shit for the sake of saying shit.
Well, it would be nitpicky if y'all also had y'all phone, but you always worried about mine and you move mine. That would be nitpicking because now you're singling me out.
Yeah.
That would be singling me out. Like, why are you fucking with me and we all be on our phones? That's nitpicking. But if someone is going, okay, we all make it a point to not be on our phone at all, and then the whole time you're on the phone, that's also not nitpicking. But what would be an issue is if both of us is on our phone and you just sitting around like, oh, and that's why you bitches and da-da-da-da, because now it's not even about me. You done made it a whole thing about bitches and on their phone and how you hoes be doing this and y'all like, whoa, what? And that's what he was doing to me. And to me, it wasn't them saying, oh, all you athletes do. It was Colin Kaepernick, you fucked up here. So they were talking to a specific person and telling him why they don't feel comfortable with this imagery. Now, he doesn't have to agree with it. That's why I'm assuming he didn't take the post down. They've been at him for about a day. And it's still up.
You know how much you got to do to actually get around everybody being like, oh, I don't like this. Exactly. Oh, you shouldn't have did this.
So that's why I don't think it was nitpicking. They just voiced their opinion. They have the right to voice their opinion. It's gonna be
I feel like that's part of the issue with the world. Everybody feel like their opinion.
I mean, well, why do we have a podcast?
Speaking of that, this has been another episode of the Revamp Podcast. I think we went over 3.5 hours.
You broke the record?
So, probably shit. I gotta see what the official time gonna be. But yeah, this was a good one though. I enjoyed it. We kind of freestyled it. It was saucy, you know. I enjoyed this one. You know what I'm saying? Retro style. And yeah, we'll see you guys next Saturday. Can't wait to drop this fish though. But yeah, peace though. Damn.
Suck it easy.
Actually, none of this deal.
What just happened?